Yeah, I'm good.
Got my chapstick on. All right.
Yikes.
All right. Here we are. Southward Hard Boiled, episode 5.
Think so, 5,
Episode number 5. Chapter 972. And Southbird Hard Boiled, we're here to bring you another review, and we're doing top. Are we doing top 5?
Flashbacks?
Yeah.
Are we? I mean, I guess we'll do them on the fly.
And at the end, we're going to try to figure out top 5 flashbacks because neither of us came prepared. But we have talked about like the flashbacks in the past, and we kind of know things that we want to see and backstories we want. And
It's also fitting it's the end of the flashback.
it's the end of the flashback.
Yeah.
So supposedly, I mean, who knows at this point what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be
next chapter.
interesting next. It could be one of like a half and half chapter.
Yeah, like it could be. I could see. Well, we'll talk about it at the end, like kind of what it says.
Yeah.
Hurtling towards the present. I think it's. Well, I'll just say it now. The last panel, it says, you know,
It suggests.
It suggests, says the story now hurtles towards the present, which suggests that like it's going to be, you know, present day in the next chapter. But I think that could also mean just like the story pace is like speeding up. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. We could get another chapter of this flashback, but I think we're probably going back to the
I'm kind of
present day.
bummed it kind of ended just like, well, we'll get through it.
We can talk about that. Yeah. So we're going to do top 5 flashbacks at the end, or we're just going to talk generally about flashbacks, backstory, see if we can mold it into an actual segment. We have a new segment this week. I think we're going to try. We're going to try it out.
Are we?
Yeah.
What is
it's,
it?
And it's basically I extrapolated different topics that we've talked about throughout the week in our One Piece group chat of our 3 friends, 3 people that watch One Piece, that read One Piece that we know.
And our 1 fan watching.
And our 1 fan watching, the only person who watches these videos. Shouts out Austin. And so we're going to go through some of those topics that we discussed and hash out some of the things we talked about a little bit.
Should be interesting.
See how that goes. But yeah, let's start. We want to start off with the anime, the episode.
What episode? Was 922, I think it is now?
I don't know, you're the anime guy on these, I think.
Yeah, I'm really slipping on those ones.
I started watching them with you, so.
Yeah, we watched it again. I mean, it revealed a lot of characters.
Revealed a lot of characters?
Yeah, like you see X-Drake, you see Page 1.
Oh, yeah, the X-Drake.
You see Smoothie do some things, you see Paraspo do some things.
Right, that's true. I forgot the Big Mom Pirates.
It was pretty good. I mean, this is when you get to the classic. We're finally getting to Episode Town. And you're seeing these people are starving, and on the other end, Orochi's having this grand party.
Those things were kind of cool.
Saying he doesn't like chicken, throw it away, and you have other people starving.
Right.
And if you only watch the anime, the smiling and Yasui really preaches like smiling to get you through the tough times. So that's how you're first, and the smiles mean a lot more, as you soon discover. It's cool seeing them how they're animating this one.
Yeah.
And you first really see.
It's very depressing knowing
Yeah.
the future of the smiles.
And then you get to see like Zoro starting to care for these people because they give him the water and stuff. So
well, I think Zoro likes. Well, Zoro's just a good guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I think he also likes Yasuo's mentality of like things are bad, so smile. Like he's a fan of that mentality, so he starts getting behind like the ethos, the philosophy of the people.
Yeah, the citizens there were funny too. What else was we also saw a little bit more of the Witching Hour boy, which has a small frame.
Yeah, this is an interesting point. Well, they call her the Witching. Well, him, her, we don't know. Okay, so I already said what I think.
Yeah.
But the Witching Hour boy, I mean, I think they call them that because they're small, right? Like they're not big. It's not like I feel like it was a big
so
thing.
they're calling it boy.
So they're calling him boy. I think that's why.
The boy part,
so I think that's why. But I think this is something we just talked about. That Witching Hour boy, something I thought like kind of right away is that it's probably or it could be Hiyori, who's the Witching Hour boy, because she's kind of small and she can dart around and
she's Odin's daughter.
She's Odin's daughter, so she has some skill. She has to have some skill, even though Momo really not showing his weight for the Kazuki name.
Yeah, but she's had 20 years to train,
She's had 20 years.
And she's also the Oiron, however you say it. Where she collects all this money, so it makes sense that she's dishing out the money.
She's dishing out the money. Yeah, exactly. She's like Robin Hood.
I think it makes a lot more. Yeah, but it's just weird. Didn't like someone say that the Witching Hour boy was captured, and she kind of gave a shocked look, like she was like.
I don't know. I had to go back to see that. It's possible, but she might have given a shocked look because she's the Witching Hour boy. Yeah, so she's like, what?
I actually made like Yasui might have known. So when she says Yasui's the Witching Hour boy, she's like, what is he doing? They're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's when she says it. It's when Yasui does it.
So some of my notes on the episode when I was watching with you, Daifuku comes back with his dumb as hell devil fruit. Don't know what's going on.
We're going to do dumbest devil fruits and dumbest characters.
Really? I don't remember saying that at all, but that's hilarious. We should definitely do that.
the stupidest characters. You wanted Oden and Toki to top the list. But I would
talk about Toki's agency.
I would do like least favorite characters and worst devil fruits and Daifukus.
Least favorite characters. What would least favorite mean? Like characters that we like the least, or like characters that like are they like bad people that you like hate because they're like evil, or like
no, like if they were gone from the series,
just like annoying. Yeah. Okay.
Like what's his name?
Usopp.
Who's the dude from Alabasta who's always singing in Whiskey Peak?
Oh, Igaram.
Kill him.
But he comes back in the end.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I know. So shit like that.
He dresses up as a woman. It's hilarious.
It's so weird. But when you first think he dies, when he fucking blows up and shit, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was actually really cool. That was
intro.
Really cool. It was kind of annoying, I gotta say. Like, it was kind of annoying.
Like,
there were 2 sacrifices throughout the Alabasta arc, like 2 big sacrifices, and then at the end of the arc, they both turn out to be alive. It just kind of, I don't know. It was
disappointing.
It was a little disappointing, like, because it had such a big emotional weight to it, and you were like, whoa, they just literally martyred themselves for this cause, like, and it's like,
and I was loving first.
And it was cool that they were alive. I mean, like, that was a cool reveal, but it was also like a little disappointing for the emotional weight that it could have been.
Pell was a sick character. You see him, he looks mysterious. You find out he has this like bird fruit, like one of the very few ones that can fly. Robin murks him in 2 seconds.
Like Meg diffs him in less than a second.
It's like, oh, that's cool. Let me break your wings in half.
That was an awesome scene.
And then he's the one that eventually helps Luffy. When he's like in the water, he flies him with it when he comes on in. So like Pell's sick, and then he sacrifices himself with the bomb.
Yeah,
like,
unbelievable. And he has I forget what his line is, but before he goes up, it's so good. It's like, my greatest honor would be like.
Yeah, because he's always been protecting her since she was younger, dude. And then they bring him back. So.
Oh well, some cool shots though. I thought this episode kind of made me feel like, because was a little like, I personally thought like Act 2 in the manga was a little lackluster, a little disappointing for me. So I personally kind of saw in this episode like, oh, maybe the anime can actually make Act 2 really cool, like fill in some of the gaps and like draw things out a little bit and make it kind of look cool and be interesting when you're just like watching it front to back. Week to week it's kind of brutal either way, reading or watching. But
yeah, it's not easy. It's not like the glory days when you just binge.
Yeah, when you're like way behind. And
just
hammer through. But all right, you got anything else to say about the anime?
Big Mom, you get a little Kaido action. I don't know. It looks pretty good. I actually like this episode of the anime.
Oh, I was gonna say X-Drake. X-Drake's hybrid form was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, they had page 1 wearing purple pants or whatever.
His T-Rex form is so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool. And when he transforms in Sabaody, and then like they show him transforming another time, I don't know, maybe during podcast or something.
He's gonna do some
so cool.
He's gonna do some badass shit in Wano.
He should. I mean,
it's gonna be kind of cool to see him actually. He's
like pretty disappointing if he didn't.
You look down. I mean, sometimes you look down on like.
Well, there's some weird thing going on with him and Law and.
Yeah, well, Sword. He's a Marine.
Right. Working with Kobe. Future Fleet Admiral.
Showing up to Wano with Boa Hancock.
Maybe it's possible.
It makes a little sense, but it goes into my theory that I expect anybody and everybody.
Maybe we'll talk about that in the group chat segment.
Oh, is that what I get into?
Oh, that's one of the topics.
Yeah.
All right. So to the chapter, and
I'm reading it, right?
Yeah, but it starts off with this like Hungry Days, like cup of noodles. Those One Piece cup of noodles that are commercials that are coming out. They're really very cool. This is like this poster, and it's like a humanized version of every, like a real life humanized version of every character, like Frankie, Zoro, whatever. They look more like real people.
Yeah.
And to me, it like looks exactly like
they do They do Nami dirty though.
Yeah, they do Nami dirty. Nami doesn't look good as a.
And Chopper's kind of funny too.
Chopper's like a boy. Chopper's like a person, which is interesting. This could be the mold of like the One Piece live action.
That's what I was thinking.
It kind of looks like it,
And they actually
the aesthetic of actors.
Usopp kind of looks the coolest out of everybody.
Usopp looks really cool in here, yeah.
And Zoro is just fucking.
Zoro just looks like a emo high schooler.
Is he not?
Yeah, he is. He is. Zoro's pretty goth.
What happened to you? A pair of stairs ruined my life.
Yeah. Do we see Parrow in this episode? I don't remember.
In the
seeing
anime?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
I
He
must
uses
have
his
missed
like they're like shooting cannons at him and shit. You get to see a little smoothie flex in there too.
that. Okay. All right. Yeah, you do get a smoothie flex. I'm done here.
You're done. Yeah, just the topic of smoothie makes you so upset.
Mm-hmm.
Just completely.
I gotta take a break from talking for a
Alright.
while.
Wow.
No cover story.
Well, and
Maybe the cover stories are over.
that would be pretty disappointing.
That would be so disappointing. It would just be such a giant waste of time.
I start off chapter 972. Title: I am Odin, and I was born to boil. So sick.
Pretty sick.
It's a pretty sick title. So Lord Odin's been keeping us safe all this time. You can't just reveal all this stuff right now. It's too much for my emotions to process. It's just Shinobi and the citizens are kind of talking back to her after she tells the story. The truth will only cause... Okay, so then you got... What did he say?
Fukurokuju.
Fukuroku.
She got it right there.
Yeah, I'm going to say Fuku. Okay.
Okay.
So you see in the background, you see Fuku, like, the ninjas grabbing Shinobu's hand, and then he goes in. The truth will only cause confusion, Shinobi. All they need to know is that the fool of a lord who defied the Shogun will die. The execution will eventually finish, and that will be the lasting message. Fuku, yeah.
So then, like, yeah. What
No,
were you
no,
saying?
yeah, wait, let's finish that. Wait. I'm sure you knew that speaking up would come at a great cost. I've decided to join my fate to theirs, life or death. I am Lord Odin's vassal. I will not follow you. If anything should happen to them, then I will die along with the Kazuki. I'm really liking that this guy's actually just a bad guy. I didn't want him to be like, you know, you're kind of getting the feeling that everyone in Wano is their allies and like they're gonna turn on Kaido. I kind of want Orochi to just have some people that are just like.
Yeah, so I wanted to say something about that, but also I wanted to do a thing maybe before we start reading the chapters. I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like where we kind of give our general view of the chapter and like do our rating.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
No, I gotta read it again.
You want to, because we both like said like out of 10 like what we think and like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, I'll just do it for me, whatever, because I'm more negative and like I'm critical with the panels.
I feel you.
But like I'll just say like I thought this chapter was very good. I gave it an 8. I gave this chapter an 8.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's
8
pretty
out of
high.
10. I thought, yeah, it's pretty high for me. I mean, I think I give like ratings that are, I hit 9s, I hit 10s, I hit 8s. I'm not giving out 10 out of 10s every time, so 10 means something. 8 is good. This is a good chapter. I like this chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. But I'll say,
Still a shitty flashback though.
yeah, as a whole, from front to back, I don't think this flashback is very good. I think it missed a lot of cues that it could have hit, a lot of things that it could have done, and where it could have been. It was pretty disappointing for me. But I like this chapter, and the last 2 chapters of this flashback I really liked. I really liked the narrative that's being set up. And it's really cool. It kind of, this is going to turn into a backhanded compliment now. Because it's making me think about how good the first 2 chapters could have been. The emotional weight of the mountain god, to me, didn't hit that hard. I thought it was kind of like goofy and I don't know, like light in a kind of weird way to show like Kinnaman's and Denjiro's attachment, his strongest and most loyal scabbards to Odin. But this, the emotional weight of this, the boiling, like it really hits for me. Really good narrative, really good story. I think it's good.
But getting back to Denjiro made sense. Then like Odin was his idol.
Well, Denjiro's just like a fanboy. Yeah.
He's the only
Sure,
adult
Denjiro,
I've
yeah.
ever admired is Lord
Sure.
Odin because he was a free man. And then Kinnaman makes sense because Odin saves his life. So he gets his 2 most loyal followers.
It makes sense. It makes sense, but it just
didn't like
hit.
the mountain god
as hard as it could have.
Yeah, like Kinnaman could have been like a gambling house or some shit.
It could have been something that just I don't know hit harder. But these last 2 chapters I really enjoyed a lot. 8 out of 10. Okay. So this last panel on the first page, I love that you see Odin and the scabbards being held up in the background.
It is
such a cool
the
view.
fire, Odin's favorite little swirls.
And the little swirls. And this is something that was a little disappointing for me for this flashback. Something that I thought could have broken up the Odin dancing a little bit. That I brought up when you asked me, like, well, what else would you were so mad at? I strongly dislike the Fool of a Lord chapter, and you're like, what else would you rather do? What else would you rather do? I was like, well, they could have like hashed out Fukurokuju's character a little bit, and like seeing him here, like it would have been nice if they like just fleshed him out more as a character and broke up some of the other like, I don't know, other parts of the flashback. So it's kind of a little disappointing, but Shinobu's out here. Shinobu's acting sick. She's cool.
She is gonna.
I'm starting to like Shinobu as a character,
I've
which
always
is impressive because I really didn't like her.
Oda
as
does
very
that.
different.
Oda does that a lot.
Yeah,
But
it's great.
Shinobu's
Oda's
cool,
great at
but
building up
you still have a
characters really
lot of
fast.
questions about her. We're talking about this before. When did she get the rot fruit? Because right now it does not seem like she has. Is it the rot? Whatever fruit she has.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that yeah?
I don't remember.
I always confuse it with her and that guy from Enos Lobby. Like
Yeah, the door fruit.
no, not the door. It's like Rust. His sword.
Oh,
rust fruit.
That's like the rust fruit.
So this one is what?
I don't remember.
Fuck it, whatever.
I don't remember. Shinobu's fruit. It like turns things into like liquid.
Yeah, you basically like dissolve stuff. So
Dissolve
like
stuff,
she doesn't seem like she has it right now. So I wonder when she gets it, or she'll just get it and then
Or like when did Kinemon get his devil fruit? When did Kanjuro get their devil fruit? We don't see this in this flashback, but they have it when they come back. So it does. It's kind of a little funky, as you would say.
It is a little funky. There is a couple holes.
I don't quite get that, but whatever.
You know, like how does Kinemon travel back in time? Travel forward in time with his swords when he's like about to get executed right now. Like when does he get his swords? You know, there's holes. But also the bigger one than with Shinobu is why she's such afraid of sharp objects. We really haven't. I don't know. It's like a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
Because she seems fine. I mean, she was
She
using her
seems
daggers.
badass out here, you know.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
who knows? But it won't come to that. We all survived this. We will all survive this, and we'll strike you down in your dreams. Nice grin. Shogun Orochi, please stop this execution. I beg of you. I beseech you too, and me. And then just 2 arrows. Bagging the citizens in the heart. Yo, Orochi, he don't care, bro. You don't care. So like finally Odin's getting the people on his side. People are starting to understand. Orochi's the bad guy. Odin's the good guy. And our hero is getting boiled alive. And what happens when you speak out? You get arrows. Okay. Get a nice little panel of Orochi, ha, eek. They've been shot with arrows. We must help them. And then you see a beast pirate. It seems like a beast pirate.
Yeah,
with
who
a
is
bow and
this guy?
arrow.
He like looks familiar to me for some reason.
Batman, Orochi, Shinobu. So Shinobu's getting pissed too. I'm gonna give a big Batman thing to him.
Oh, really? Okay, that's exciting. That's exciting.
So like, tonight, people are starting to understand. Orochi's not a good guy. The crowd instantly understood the threat of a madman bent on revenge posed them. Silence, trash. I loved it in the first translation. It was thrash.
Oh yeah.
Silence, trash. They realized that the man undergoing the extended execution they'd been watching was in fact the one shining hope for Wano. Lord Odin, Lord Odin. The people suddenly noticed they were surrounded by Kaido's and Orochi's men, bristling with weapons. I do like this panel too. You got a nice little stage set up. You see in the capital mountains, and you see the crowd coming around them, and just the forces. It's a nice panel. The reason for Odin's 5-year stretch of odd behavior spread throughout the crowd like wildfire. Then he was actually saving us. It spurred the people into motion. Man, we look so stupid now. Yeah, dude.
Do you think? Okay, so I would say something about this last panel.
Yeah.
Is this fodder guy who you call citizens running away, saying, "Man, we look so stupid now." Do you think that's Oda seeing all the criticism that he got for the last 2 chapters and being like, "Yeah, you guys look stupid now"?
I mean, I always think something like that, but the only problem I had with this reveal is that we already knew this.
What?
Obviously
The scabbards don't die?
No, that obviously Orochi went back on his deal and stuff. So it's a payoff for them, but for us we were all obviously there was a deal being made. It wasn't like
right.
Well, they realized that my boy Odin. I mean, come on. Yeah, the reason for Odin's 5-year stretch of odd behavior spread throughout the crowd like wildfire. Then he was actually saving us. It spread people in motion. But this gets to my whole point why I think Odin does this, though. Because Odin needs the people on his side.
So this is something I was going to talk about a little later, but a part of me wants to believe that Odin took this because he knew that Kaido and Orochi were going to go back on this deal, and he knew that he could withstand the 60 minutes, and he wanted to get the people back on his side against Orochi and Kaido, and kind of show the people that they're an oppressive force, and they shouldn't give into it or whatever. But then, did he just know that Shinobu was going to give the speech? Because really the reason why they start getting back on his side is because of the Shinobu speech. It's not because he withstands the hour. Because before this, the citizens were already why isn't he dying?
Well,
I want him to die faster. So it seems like if Shinobu didn't give that speech, they'd be annoyed at how long he's surviving.
Nah, because I think he might have spoken up for himself. That's also one of the reasons why he could have let Shinobu go free, knowing that she kind of knew the truth of what was going on.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a stretch, but
I
sure.
mean, it's a story.
Yeah, it's also. I know. I'm reading it. It's also like, is the people not being on Kaido's side like mean anything? He's about to leave.
No, because Odin. Okay, so Odin wants to open the border. For 800 years, the border's been closed. That's all Wano's known. That's all Wano's ever known. Odin's always been a wild child that gained some respect when he became a daimyo and everything like that. But people still look down upon him as a pirate, as a guy that fled Wano, a guy who didn't come back. So he's already not liked for past behaviors and all that type of thing. So he needs to get like the people back on his side. And he needs them to be back on the side in order to open the borders. Because if you don't have the people's help, then you need to be able to open the borders. So in this, he's like showing the people who Kaido is, who Orochi is, and like truly like the future is with the Kozuki clan. And like although we might have looked bad, dancing in the streets, not being ourselves, not doing it, we've been protecting you. Like we are your saving grace. Yeah. And that's kind of gets the way like Odin's at. It's tough because you're saying like show me the evidence, and it's not like explicitly said, but like. And that's also you saying, like, I look too much into it. But that's kind of, like, the feel I get for Odin. It's just, like, But it upsets you because, especially later in the chapter, you know Odin's stronger than Kaido. Just fuck this dude up, bro. Like, you're sitting in prison.
Yeah, and
you're sitting in prison with your swords.
Like, that's the thing that really I did not understand about this chapter
I told you it's my least favorite part. There's a few things I did not like about the chapter.
Made me so
and
confused.
That's number one.
We'll get to it eventually.
We'll get to it. Let's get to the chapter. We'll break it all down. But
so maybe Odin did this on purpose. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe he knew Shinobu was going to give the speech.
He knew he was going to die since he says it.
Okay. He knew he was going to die.
So okay, my bad man. They shot the urgent news to various castles on the land. The letter arrows of Wano across great distances to send messages. Okay, back to my there is no traitor theory. Okay, who has super hearing that we've already seen in Wano? Batman. Great answer. Okay, what does Batman use? A bow and arrow. Okay.
Oh, I thought I was gonna get to answer.
Oh, I'm just getting all excited. I'm sorry.
You're excited. It's fine. It's good. Honestly, it's good.
Now,
it's good evidence.
I've always been going around with different theories. People like, how did they spread the messages? I always thought it was like a coordinated thing between Mouseman, Batman, and that really fast, stupid gazelle.
Okay.
Who would take it and just run it to Orochi?
Not Mouseman.
No, Mouseman would get the information. He would hand it off, and then Gazelle guy would run. Like it's not just like one guy. It's like a various network of like spies and ninjas like receiving information. Now this suggests the only
very elaborate explanation.
Yeah, very elaborate. Now the only I got deep into there is no traitor. Now this is just weird because Batman.
Find hard boiled on the discords. He
Batman
goes hard.
Batman does not exist yet with the smile fruit.
Yeah.
So I mean I think
but that's fine.
But this just hints if like Oda wants to use this as the evidence, like how we're spreading the messages. He's like, guys, look at the flashback. This is like an old practice.
Yeah, like the thing is like the practice exists.
Yeah.
So Batman doesn't need to exist yet. He can just use this practice.
And they're just sending arrows with the info.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Honestly, I was really interested to see where you're going with your Batman stuff, but it's good.
I always thought it because someone was like, you can't trust that stupid guy.
Because the argument you could make is that when Kaido says there's a traitor,
he wants the vision among the people.
He said there's someone. No, I don't think that. Well, that's too many long games going on here that I don't think are like. I don't think the characters are like that. I think he said there's somebody in your castle.
Yeah.
We have someone in your castle, so
perhaps.
It's not. Yeah, perhaps. Okay, so you're holding on to the perhaps thing. Another bad argument. So, like, he's saying not necessarily like one of your people are the traitor. He could also be meaning that like we have someone who's spying on you in your castle, like not someone who's being a traitor.
Doesn't need to be a scabbard, dude. It's so hard for me to see a scabbard being one of these guys, man.
So that's like an argument you could make for their. I can't at this point think that there is a traitor.
But, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But you could still make the argument.
The only thing is like with the fan base, I would be psyched. I would celebrate jumping glee with like Oda says, no, there is no traitor.
But everyone else would be like,
everyone
pissed.
would be like, I
can't
believe
I think
Oda.
Everyone would be on Twitter screaming, Goda! The whole community thought there was a traitor. Everybody thought there was a traitor. There's no traitor.
2-year search for traitors.
Goda.
We thought it was Carrot. Remember we thought it was Carrot?
Carrot. Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
So good. Yeah, but there's just so much evidence points to like, especially not the scabbards. Like Shinobu made the most sense at one point, but now she.
Well, now because it's funny because every chapter it completely changes. 2 chapters ago it was Shinobu. Last chapter it was like Kanjuro or someone. This chapter it's Raizo. Everyone thinks it's Raizo this chapter.
Yeah, it's funky. All right, let's get to it. This actually, I feel like.
Well, I want to say something about this
messing
panel.
up.
You know I want to say something about this panel.
About the arrows or Yasui?
Yeah, so
Oh,
you get
with
Yasu in the panel. You
Yeah,
get
that's
Yasu in the top left panel, and he's reading the message. What's going on? But he's got his
Does
loyal.
does Yasui already know this? I figured he already knew this.
He must.
So like now he's just like.
Well,
he's
no,
like,
he didn't know that he was dancing to save the 100 people, but he like assumed it.
Okay, yeah.
It was hinted that he like knew something was going on.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like hinted at that, but Odin didn't tell anyone for some reason. I don't really get why Odin wouldn't.
I think he was trying to stall. I think he was just trying to stall, and then at some point he's like, I can't stall no more, because his main goal is just to open the borders.
I don't know. Oh, so Yasu's reading, and his servant to the right of him has an emblem on his jacket, which is the same emblem that is the flag or the same emblem that Koshiro, Zoro's sensei, wears on his garb. And it's just all these connections. I mean, we know Yasu has the last name Shimotsuki, which is the name of the village that Zoro grew up in. And we know that Zoro's from Wano. Basically confirmed.
Yeah, no.
But Zoro, it seems like Zoro's continuing to have these lineage connections, and now we see this to sword with Koshiro. Maybe Koshiro's Denjiro. Maybe.
Yeah,
It's possible.
You hold on to that one.
Maybe it's possible. Also,
I'll be so upset.
the Koshiro's brother theory that we said last time.
Oh, that one.
Where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, the
you know,
twin.
Koshiro's brother, twin, had a kid who's Tashigi. Tashigi looks like Kuina. That could be Denjiro because they're an orphan, wouldn't know about like his family.
Yeah.
And Tashigi, I looked a little bit into it, the theory. Tashigi's sword is like Wado-esque a little bit. It has some similarities to Wado. And it's called Autumn Rain, which is interesting because Shimotsuki is related to snow and November. So that's like a precipitation and a month, and Tashigi's sword is autumn rain. It's just interesting. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I just think it's interesting
Tashigi's coming to Wano.
The pattern of vocabulary is the same for those, and Tashigi.
Tashigi is coming to Wano.
I
I
think
just
it would
don't see
make
how
sense
she
for
doesn't
Tashigi.
come to Wano.
I think it would make sense for Tashigi.
With
to come to
Vegapunk
Wano.
and
But it's just like a whole thing. I mean,
We're getting there.
pretty random, but
I don't think so. I mean, the evidence is suggesting Zoro showing up. and,
well,
like,
Smoker is definitely a part of Sword. So if maybe some parts of Sword show up,
Is he a part of Sword?
I think so.
He might be now. Oh, that's weird. I mean,
I think
Akishi's definitely part of it.
The
and
people I think
Akishi
are
and
well. We'll talk.
Smoker
I want to talk
are-
about Sword at the end, but like
Sword's gonna be a Straw Hat.
who X-Drake?
No, like the swords are gonna befriend Luffy.
Yeah, in the final war,
Yeah.
or maybe in this war. I could see Sword getting behind
I've been
Luffy
serious.
in this war.
I'm telling you guys. I've been telling
But
you.
I think
guys.
the head of Sword is Garp. I think Garp is the head of Sword. I don't think Akaino's involved. A lot of people think Akaino's the head
I
of
don't know,
Sword.
dude. That cover
I
page.
don't think Akaino's
That cover
Sword.
page suggests
Because I'll tell you
a
why.
lot.
I think what Sword is the division between absolute justice and moral justice.
Yeah.
And all the people we see throughout the series that follow moral justice are the ones in Sword. So we see Garp, who we know is talked about by Akiji and Smoker, who are the two biggest moral justice characters that we know in the series.
Trains Kobe. He trains Kobe.
Kobe.
He doesn't want to become an admiral because he doesn't want to be controlled by celestial dragons. Yeah.
Yes.
The whole thing.
All those
But
things.
can you explain why Akainu has a sword in the one cover page we get of him?
I just think like he has a tattoo of a sword on his shoulder.
Do you believe in coincidences? and Oda? And Goda?
No, but
Hey, that's
I
one of
don't
the
know. I don't
that's
know
one of
what
the
sword
flashbacks I
means.
need. I need to know more about Kainu. I need to know why he believes in this absolute justice. Like why he would blow up a
I
civilian
know
ship.
that's like that was gonna be one of my top 5 flashbacks.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I would have had to do 10. There's so many characters I need to know about. But let's get back into the chapter. Because right now, we're messing up the flow, and we're about to see Odin.
This is our flow. It's good. We break down it panel by panel. No,
No,
one else does it.
no, I'm saying Odin's flow. Like, the flow that Oda created for my man Odin
Gotcha,
right
gotcha,
now
gotcha,
on
gotcha,
this
gotcha,
guy.
gotcha.
This is his moment.
Sure.
The boiling pot. No, sorry. The boiling oil in the pot. Past 700 degrees and continue to rise. That's kind of crazy. Lord Odin, hang in there, Lord Odin.
700 degrees. The temperature of magma. Hashtag Akainu. Not the
Really?
leader of Sword.
Is that true?
It's it's close to like the lower end of temperature of magma. Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that he wouldn't survive a magma bath.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about like, would he survive magma because of this? Blah blah blah. 700 degrees is very close to the temperature of magma.
Odin. That's the coolest thing I heard about Odin all day. Thank you for that. Please, Lord Odin, survive this torment. We're sorry for insulting you. We were ignorant. But even though, like, if he walked out of this thing, he's dead. He's like Whitebeard. Actually, maybe
Well, that's
like
the
body
insinuation.
out, you know, go in a wheelchair.
That's
Thank you for protecting us, Lord Odin. Oh, now they care. How convenient for them. Ignore them, my lord. Thank you all. I will persevere. He's
nice
so
little show
appreciative.
of appreciation.
Finally, that's what I'm saying, man. Odin's there, bro. He's working out here. He's like, I need these guys' help. He's like, thank you, guys. I'm fucking dying over here. Listen to me. So this one, is he like screaming, or is this just to the scabbards? Huff, huff, listen to me. If I manage to survive this boiling, I would like to open up this country, huh? What's he blabbing about? You said that before, my lord. That the Kozuki clan had something to do with our closed policy. What did you learn out there?
Yeah, so
on the
like
Great
they
Wide
know
Sea?
something about Kazuki. It's weird. It's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, also I want to say something about this panel. Wow, I almost forgot. It's amazing. So Kaido in this panel right here, he's wearing open leather jacket with some tight pants.
Let's just get to the reason why Wano's closed.
Confirmed to be Katakuri's
Slim?
dad. Yeah, he's
Answer
trying to
that.
face it. You wanted me to answer?
Yeah, why not? Fuck Swim.
Good. Confirmed to be Katakuri's father. Katakuri, Big Mom got it on. That's what they're talking about. That's what the argument is for. You know you owe me one because Big Mom let him in. Oh, now you're getting the FaceTime from Swim.
That's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, you should have went to Tyler first. You thought I was ever going to pick up a FaceTime from you?
What's up? You look like a creepy grandpa.
What are you doing? You're ruining our flow.
Are you doing, at Kathleen's?
No, we're doing the podcast. We're trying to get through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, can I do a plug?
Yeah, do a plug.
Yeah.
Am I on the screen on your podcast?
You gotta talk to the camera and talk loud.
Yeah. Just tell me when you're ready. Can they see me?
I hope not, for their sake. One second. All right, go.
Okay. Hey guys, Sam Swanson here. How are you? Just wanted to talk to you about the Patrick Dashwood stories. It's absolutely happening, and it's all so good.
Is that it?
That was it.
That was your plug?
Shameless plug. This episode brought to you by Patrick Dashwood.
Check it out on Vimeo and hashtag the Patrick Dashwood stories. And we've got a screening coming up early April and a novel release soon this year.
Is your book getting republished?
Yes.
How did the photo shoot go?
The photo shoot was
Erotic?
let's put it this way. You spell naughty Samuel. That's me. That's my name. Samuel. I'm Samuel. I'm the creator of the Patrick Dashwood stories. So, anyway, this isn't clickbait. This is the real deal. Everything I'm saying is true. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. One Piece is trash. I hate this show so much.
He's never seen an episode. He's never read a chapter.
read subtitles.
He can't even read.
Okay, cool. So that was me tuning in.
Good.
How'd you enjoy that? Was that fun for you?
I had a great time. I was actually very nervous and much less comfortable than I thought I would be, especially after all the joking around. Okay, well, I'll see you guys at Kathleen's.
Alright, see you there.
Peace. Choo-choo.
Nice. Censored that perfectly. All right.
Alright, we're back in. Okay, back to Odin. I feel like I gotta get back to the beginning. Okay. Huff. Listen to me. If I manage to survive this boiling, I would like to open up this country. Huh? I think they do. What's he blabbing about? You said that before, my lord. That the Kozuki clan has something to do with our closed policy. What did you learn out there on the Great Wide Sea? Long ago, the ones responsible for closing this nation to the rest of the world were the Kozuki clan. What? And it was to protect Wano from a great external power.
Yeah. So multiple things you could extrapolate from that panel.
World government, Gorsi.
Yeah, I think the great external power that he's talking about is the world's government, and that they wanted to close Wano off for, and more specifically, whatever Doflamingo is talking about, the great power that the world's government has, something associated with the giant straw hat that we see Emu find. And I think like this just absolutely confirms, I mean, it was basically confirmed before, but that the Kazuki clan played like a major role in whatever
it was
the
in
Void
order
Century
to it was in order
happened.
to protect. Yeah, they created the poneglyphs. They spread them out the world.
Created the
They hold all the
poneglyphs.
secrets.
Yeah.
They're looking end game.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Odin's right now in a boiling pot of water.
Oil.
But like, do you trust your scabbards instead of yourself? I mean,
Definite connection to the D's.
oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
And it just kind of hammers down the idea that I thought since we got into this flashback and learned all about all this Joy Boy stuff, that Joy Boy is a title.
Yeah.
And it's Monkey Day.
Damn fucking right.
Monkey Day.
It's gonna come out. It's great external path. So the external path very interesting.
Very interesting. A lot of world building implications.
I'm not gonna answer that one. Wano, the entire that's my mom. Wano, the entire world awaits a figure. And when that figure appears after an 800-year span, this country must be prepared to welcome and work with them. Them's very interesting. I will be clear with you. They are going to kill me today.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, that's like kind of pointing out that it's like destiny. Like,
Yeah.
that's, whatever his guy is it going to be.
Which you
it's,
were praying it wasn't.
Which I was praying it
I was
wasn't.
telling you we're getting there.
I'm a little upset. It's a little disappointing because to me, if this whole thing is predicated on destiny, not only will it kind of take away the feats that Luffy had throughout the series in my mind, and like the emotional weight of going through that, like it was just Luffy's perseverance and hard work. No, he was just destined to do it all the time. Like that kind of sucks.
I know, it
And
does
then
suck. It takes away
also-
from his character.
And then it takes away so much from his character because if it's destiny the whole time, it's literally so contradictory to his entire goal in the entire series.
But not really. Luffy
What is-
says.
what is Luffy's goal?
Luffy says all the time, "I'm not gonna die." Like he just believes in himself. Unlike
What
anybody
is
else.
Luffy's goal?
Become Pirate King, the freest
Why?
man in the world.
The freest man in the world.
Yeah.
If his entire goal, the entire series, is to be the freest man in the world, but his entire life is predestined, that's the opposite of being free. That's the opposite of free will. So that would really suck to me. And it seems like that's where we are. So I'm basically gotten over it.
But the thing is, it's you put up a good fight. This one did not help you this chapter.
No, it's
But
pretty much
I tell you,
hammered.
Oda can save it. But like in the end, like whoever the final guy is like going off about Luffy, like, oh, you think because it's like destiny, you're destined to do this, blah blah blah, you're supposed to defeat me, and Luffy just goes, who gives a shit about destiny? Like that's my friend. Where like even though Luffy's destined for shit,
it could-
like
you're right, it could
he
still be
himself's like,
amazing.
I don't give a shit about what you're saying about this. I don't care what you're saying
Yeah.
about that. I don't care about this person or that thing or this or that. That's my friend.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fucking kill you because you're not gonna.
And
hurt
that's
my
an
friend.
interesting commentary on destiny versus free will,
Yeah.
maybe. So it could. You're right. It still could be good. Listen, I trust Oda. I mean, it still
It's
definitely
just
could
people
be
get the
good.
narrative vibes. I know.
The
people-
them is really interesting though. Is Joy Boy Vivi?
Is Joy Boy VV. I still think she has something related to Pluton. Not Joy Boy exactly, but I don't know.
I do too, but I also think like, wouldn't it be awesome if she plays like a major role in the final key of the whole thing?
Well, I think
considering she is,
A Straw Hat.
she has a stride, but she's also a celestial dragon.
VV.
So that's-
technically no.
Well, she had celestial dragon lineage.
Well,
She's a celestial dragon the same way Doflamingo's a celestial dragon.
Yeah, but then but they never agreed to become celestial dragons. Like there were no
But
celestial.
what I'm saying is that I think, like the Void Century, I think you think also, is that it was some sort of war that involved one side being with the D's and the other side being with the celestial dragons.
Yeah, control and stuff
And
like that.
so she has this celestial dragon lineage. Maybe the celestial dragon like lineage is connected to the great power in the world's government, the ancient weapons, things like that. So like her having that celestial dragon lineage and not being a part of the celestial dragons could play a major
they
role.
turned it down. They were the only family that turned it down.
Only
All
family
families went up. They're the only ones who agreed to stay on the ground, which you suggest is a reason for. And then also they also could have been like, I don't like all this power we have. This isn't right. Also explains why they have a poneglyph, because they're faithful with the Kazukis, which makes sense. I mean, I think we're gonna get down to something about like back in the day there was like the minks and like the fishman, and then man kind of came down, and some wanted to control people and some wanted to be free.
Yep.
And they created this great divide, and then like a religious part is going to come in, the amount of crosses we see, the Bible, Kuma, and it's going to be a battle of like freedom versus like imperial rule. I'm excited for it. I just really, I'm with you. I don't like the whole Destiny thing, but I don't want it to be like this isn't like Kainer's actually not the bad guy. It's actually this guy. Blackbeard's not the bad guy. It's actually M. M's not the bad guy. It's actually Vivi. Vivi's not the bad guy. It's actually fucking Bon Clay. Where like every time it was like, oh, this villain's sick, and it's like, no, that person's being controlled by this person. Like that person's being controlled by this person.
I mean, if Blackbeard is an endgame villain, that would be completely disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
totally
if
agree.
it's M,
but then,
that would suck.
That's why it gets weird and funky.
If
But also,
Luffy
like,
doesn't-
I want Luffy to fuck up a Akainu.
If Luffy doesn't, in this order, destroy Akainu and then destroy Blackbeard to save the world, I will be pissed.
You wouldn't mind Sabo beating the shit out of Akainu?
I need Luffy to do that.
I don't think you're gonna
I
get
would
it.
be so disappointed if it was
I don't think
Sabo.
you get it. You might not even get a Mihawk Zoro fight.
I don't think I'm gonna. I as soon as he decided to train with him, I was upset because I didn't think it made sense anymore.
You know, the always crackpot they always kind of had was that Zoro's already defeated Mihawk. He's already the world's strongest swordsman.
Well, Zoro is Joy Boy.
This is a year's matchup.
Yeah, they do actually. The years do match up.
I mean, it's implied it's Luffy. I mean,
It's
yeah.
implied that it's.
But
Luffy.
it's also, this is actually something weird about this, is like you got to pass it on to make someone stronger. So like maybe Mihawk and Shanks like thought they were the people too. They realized they weren't. And like Mihawk's doing the same thing as Luffy. He's like trying to find. So like when he meets Zoro, he's like, surpass me. Because he wants someone stronger than him for this endgame war.
There's something going on with Mihawk.
Yeah.
Mihawk is a very, very mysterious character.
What if
there is
Mihawk's
some
endgame
connection to that would be sick. There's some connection, but I don't know if it can make sense. There's some connection from Mihawk to the Void Sentry because of exactly what you said, the religious aspect.
Yeah.
There's a huge religious aspect of the Void Sentry with all these ruins. We see crosses everywhere. Mihawk's got crosses all over that guy's body. All of his swords are crosses. His boat looks like a cross.
When we when we go into the crypts with him, we see those same crosses on top of some of the panels.
Yep, he's got some odd connection to the world government. When Zoro lands on his island, there's a huge wooden cross there, and then
Well, his one was interesting because like people just fought. They like
and
destroyed each other.
his island is interesting. The Muggy
Yeah.
Kingdom, I think it's
Yeah.
called, and it used to be a kingdom. And he said like it used to be like a great island. And there was a huge war on it,
Yeah, and everyone's dead.
and everyone's dead. And that's how the monkeys became so good at being fighting.
They just watch Warfare.
Because they just watch Warfare, Void Sentry War.
No, but
Dot, dot, dot.
it was more present time. It's just showing that the world is not as happy and gloom as it seems, and that's why you have the revolutionaries out there.
Yeah, it's facts.
All right, let's get through this. Where are we?
I'll declare with you.
Oh yeah, wow. These have to figure weights. Yeah, weights a person 800. Also, I'm glad that in the other translation it was
Traversed. Yeah, 'cause
traversed.
that-
because that went back to the theory and said like, what are the chances Toki sent Joy Boy 800 years?
Well,
in the
that's
future?
what it would have been if that was the word.
It just made no sense because Toki wanted to get back to
Because
Wano.
Luffy's already there.
Toki wants to get back to Wano, so
But
that she
maybe,
like.
well, that would make sense because then Toki would maybe want to get back to Wano because
No, but like if she was there, why did she ever leave? I guess there was a war there, so she had to flee or something. There's also something
could've
with the
definitely made
dolls.
sense.
Like Moria brings the dolls alive that are protecting the poneglyphs.
Moria brings dolls.
There's a bunch of dolls protecting the poneglyphs. That's what we saw in the anime. This one.
Well, that's
You see it.
that's what's his name? That's Hawkins.
Hawkins for the dolls? No, it's not.
Yeah, he's got the dolls.
Anyways.
That's his whole thing.
Nah, the people believe like that like famous like sculpture where like all the soldiers are stone and protects like a famous tomb. People are expecting something like that. Because they say it. Robin talks about it. I'll be clear with you. They're going to kill me today. The spoiler already knows. Okay. No, you can't withstand the boiling. You're already a third of the way through.
Is that Toki?
No, that's Kiku. I want to open Wano in my stead. Then we should join Lord Odin in, and then Raizo. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, this is really weird.
Really weird. Is this why people think he's a traitor?
This is why people think he's the traitor. Yeah.
Join Lord Odin, and your dream is our dream. Well said.
So Denjiro's like, then we should join Lord Odin in, and then Raizo covers his mouth. It's like, what do you think he's about to say? In the pot. It seems like he's about to say in the pot, which is a really weird thing to say at that moment. So maybe he's saying then we should join Lord Odin in opening the borders.
Yeah.
Thinking like that he's gonna get him out. Like It's interesting that he covers his mouth there because it could be leading to two different things.
But it's kind of whatever Vi's saying. It goes to show his loyalty. He's saying like, bro, like Denjiro, you don't need to speak right now. Lord Odin spoke. That's his dream. Your dream is our dream. And then Odin's just like, well said, my man. It's like Odin loves it.
Odin loves it. Well said.
Odin loves it. Raizo's cool just because he had a little stand in zoo while like everyone died, and he like really feels bad about it. Kind of that's the only reason why I find him interesting. 30 minutes left. We go back to the clock. Talk. By this point, it was a hell where even the heat haze was lethal. The boiling oil burned Odin's skin. How is he still alive? Raised the heat, but Odin did not die. Sick panel of him just holding him over. 10 more minutes. Is he impervious to heat or something? 5 more minutes. Lord Odin, 1 more minute. 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second. Woo! Clock ticks, it's a miracle. He survived execution. Lord Odin did it. It's a wide shot of just Are we in the Flower Capital right now? Is that where we're at?
It's in the
I don't know why everyone's screaming.
If Denjiro was about to say we should join Lord Odin in the pot, then he's the traitor. Then he's the traitor. Confirmed he's the traitor if he's going to say that, but we don't know.
What?
If he says we should join Lord Odin
that makes
in the
no
pot,
sense. Why would he say join when he says I
doesn't
want you to
make
open
sense.
one on my side? He's probably like, we should join Lord Odin. And
it's just
he's also the guy with Kinnaman who says like let's jump in the pot to begin with. I mean,
he just wants everyone to kill themselves. Then he's gonna sneak out.
Jesus, he can withstand a pot. Green Bull can withstand. He was
Odin.
He withstood the boiling. Thank goodness, Lord Odin's won. And look how happy he is, bro. He cleared up the misunderstanding. The country's on his side again. You're in for it now, Kaido. So this is what I mean. Like, this is what I think Odin's goal was. Like, he needed the city back on his side. And by doing this and exposing Orochi, everyone... Now you understand why people in Wano get on their knees when they see Toki. I mean, when
It's
they
because
see
of
Momo.
Shinobu's speech, though. It's because of Shinobu's speech.
It's not because this guy's holding scabbards above his head and danced for 5 years.
That's
No,
the
like-
thing. Yes, it is also because of that. But without Shinobu's speech, that would mean
But
nothing.
you never know.
That would mean
You
nothing.
might have given the speech. You don't know that. You're just...
Maybe, but
This also, I fucking hate this. This my other part. I didn't
Oh,
like
I
that.
see him
Don't
go
wind him up, cat. Why shouldn't I? A win's a win. Everyone says bugging. So is this the feud?
it seems like that's the argument that makes them hate each other for like 20 years.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the feud that almost you guys didn't talk and had to split up duties to protect the city.
Literally couldn't see
and
each
then
other
when
for-
Jack
yeah.
showed up, you guys couldn't fight together because you wanted to alternate.
Literally,
night.
probably could have defeated Jack instead of letting the entire
Okay,
country die.
because the cat was just talking shit about fucking Kaido. Kaido was already gonna kill him. He tells you last thing they're gonna kill me today. So whatever they say, I really wanted it to be something with the old hag, like something with some meaning. This is just
Yeah, someone with the old hag would have made sense.
don't wind him up, cat. Why shouldn't I win to win? Maybe there's something more on the way back to the castle.
I don't. Well, we'll talk about that later, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the civilians are like bugging. They get all nervous and they see a bunch of people draw guns. I changed my mind. I altered the sentence to death by firing squad 1 minute ago, and the entire clan gets put to death too. Ha ha ha. Orochi obviously goes back on his deal. What kind of childish nonsense is this? That wasn't the deal, Lord Orochi. Upheld the eat. Do it for me. Open Wano's border. So this is also what I'm feeling. I feel like the reason why he also wanted to make the deal was to show that Orochi wouldn't go on to this deal. You know? Because even when he says, like, he believes he can get through it too, but he says, I'll be clear. Like, he already knows they're going to kill him. He knows they're going to go back on their word.
He wants to like make sure that like 20 years from now, the people will want to open the borders when the scabbards are sent there.
Yeah. So, like, that's his thing. Like, even now, he's like, people are like, oh, wait, so they're going to go try to free him, and now
A part of me
Orochi's killing
does
the
think
civilians.
that was Odin's plan. A part of me does think that.
You just don't see it.
I mean, no, I see it. I mean, it's like it's possible. It just he didn't seem like he planned at all during the time that he was dancing for like a potential fight.
Yeah,
And so like to make this plan so fast is
Well, he did. He was winning the fight, and he fucking momos, and
just like, but why didn't he get more people to fight or like
Whitebeard and everybody.
or even the daimyos? Like the
But, like-
daimyos, it's kind of disappointing. The daimyos were not shown or fleshed out in this flashback at all.
You see a little
Kinda
bit. You see
disappointing because
Yasui. You see a little
you
bit. of
only see
Hio.
Yasu.
Yeah.
Hio's not a daimyo.
Is he not?
No, he's the Yakuza boss.
No, that's Hio.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm talking about Yasu. Yeah. Yeah, they really don't get fleshed out. Not
And
even-
it's kinda disappointing 'cause it could've been really cool.
You could have saw that Fox character, the one on the
Yeah,
bridge.
yeah, Shimotsuki,
You
like,
could've
that
seen
could've
him
been so cool.
walking And like Zoro. Actually, I want to look back on that. I wonder when you see him when the Shogun's talking. seeing like who's gonna be our next heir and shit like that. But you don't really go into detail with them.
Yeah, they don't get any lines. They don't
But I
get any
wonder. I
roles.
gotta go back and look and see if I see a fox or anything like that surrounding him. The guy that's like supposedly Zoro's lineage. Okay,
Shimotsuki.
so now we see do it for me, open the borders. Odin's getting pumped up now. One last effort.
No, you don't see that guy, because isn't that guy Yasu's dad?
No,
Yasu's grandpa?
no. The guy that looks like Zoro has like the same body structure.
It's not
Dude,
Shimotsuki.
Let's get to the it's the Shimotsuki. Yeah, let's get to the height part. Open wide on his border. He gives a big old heave, sends the scabbards flying in the air. They're floating. Denjiro.
This is the best panel.
Denjiro just incomplete. Yeah, it's gonna be sick animated. Denjiro's in sick control. Cat's a fucking mess. Everyone else is like not doing well, but Denjiro, he's like, alright, let's do this shit. Guns are shooting. Goes right into a fallout sprint. Touch the ground.
This whole like paneling
Kawamatsu
movement
looking
is so sick.
fly. Okay,
all look so
Denjiro looking
They're
quick.
like completely parallel to
run.
the ground.
And like I can see the animation as soon as
Yeah.
the ground touches, it just goes straight off.
It's gonna look
and you go right to
sick.
Kinemon. Kinemon, soft flex. Haven't seen a lot of flexing for Kinemon, but
Soft
here we
flex for
come.
Kinemon.
Takuri, tears coming down his eyes. Shinobu gets away from
Shinobu
Fuku.
gets away.
From Fuku. Then you see Kinemon break his chains. Where was that before? And that's Odin giving you hard. That's Odin giving you hard out there. They see what he's doing.
Sick.
Don't turn back. He's crying. Huff, huff. And then we start going back to the flashbacks.
Then we get this horrible
You didn't like
montage.
this? I enjoyed
hated
this.
it because
I enjoyed
these
this.
relationships are paper thin.
Yeah.
They are so
right, well,
stupid.
let's get to
We
it.
get a
Okay.
montage
Let's get to it.
of a chapter in the flashback
That was
that was a
montage.
complete montage. A montage of a montage. I feel like I'm in
Which
fucking
reminds you-
Inception. I'm in a dream within a dream and it's a nightmare.
These are good moments, though, man. Don't
They're
turn
not.
back.
They're
That was a
telling-
fascinating story you just said.
The next page is
Kazuki Odin,
ridiculous.
you see Denjiro just weeping down tears. Okay, they're both dying. Him and Kinemon, his first two followers, dying out here. Shoot them all. After them, wipe out the name of Kazuki. Either way, this is Kaido now taking out the up pistol, 2 barrels. Either way, your body's already dead. I'll do you a kindness and put you out of your misery. And now the age of Kazuki is over for good. You'll all die. Then Odin, don't make the mistake of underestimating our samurai.
Is this the first
Lord
time Odin
Odin.
like talks about the strength of the samurai? It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool line and panel right there from Odin. But I think that's the first time he's like said anything about
Well, is
the
he talking
strength
about when he
of the
says
samurai.
our samurai? Is he talking about like his scabbards? Is he talking about all Wano in general?
Oh, well, I assumed he was talking about the scabbards, but I guess
So,
he hasn't said
but-
anything nice about the scabbards the entire
No,
flashback.
but he says
so
like
maybe.
the other like in the fan translation it was like in my samurai. So when I heard my, I was like, that's good. But in this one it says our, and a lot of people put respect on it. I mean, maybe there's something with like the minks where like at a certain time like the I'd be kind of weak there.
I think he's talking about the scabbards, honestly.
Don't. But he's so like, how can you not underestimate these fucking guys?
Well, it's gonna be
Anyways,
sauce,
double
yeah.
double barrel, and then
All right, here
Lord
are the
Odin,
relationships.
Kiku.
Boom, Kiku yelling at an orphan
I
not to
didn't
eat
say
his
you
food.
could eat, but that's the same thing. Luffy doesn't want people eating his food. He's beating the shit out of Momo.
No, Luffy would let a lost orphan eat his food.
He eventually lets her eat it, but at first he gets mad. Luffy does this shit all the time.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, that's our pot of Odin top. Like if Momo tried to eat Luffy's meat, he'd beat the shit out of him, and everyone would be like, Luffy, he's a child. Kenjiro, tears coming down. You little freak. I
You little
give.
freak, and then he beats him up.
He
Boom.
was a little
That's their
freak.
relationship. Cool.
Yeah, he was.
Means a lot.
Are you the bandit they're talking about? It's just Raizo, Lord Odin. I find this one cool because he knew him from the past.
Insults Raizo.
Lord Odin. Well, he's a mountain bandit, yo. He's picking on girls. So
Okay.
you're the boss of Kira.
Super weird.
Hey, that's your doji. But dude, this is what you're seeing. But like when you look at these characters, it's like obviously more they're thinking of. It's the moment when they're singing Odin. This is like them at their lowest moments of their life. Okay, he's about to die by a mountain god. He's an orphan scrambling for money. Kiku is a fucking orphan. Kenjiro is fucking cutting people's hairs off and turning it into
And
weird
Odin
fetishes.
does incredibly nice and
Raizu-
compassionate things in all these situations.
Raizu's
It's
a
great.
mountain bandit because he can't get laid, so now he's trying to kidnap fucking women. Or sure, Doji is a criminal brought up in Curry and is the leader. And because of Odin, you got Kawamatsu.
This was a good
Dogstar,
chapter.
Cat Viper. Shame on all of you.
That was one of the chapters
Your
I
fear
thought was
of
very
the
good.
alien exposes
Flashback.
your own ignorance. Odin accepts all. I'm so hungry. It's because you lent out all the money. Then Jiro. Odin cares so much. He doesn't need to eat food. He's a samurai. Food's not important. Okay, go steal some food then. Is that what a daimyo says? So, I mean, like, you've seen it. Like, you've seen these moments. Like, these people were at their lowest, and now they're these esteemed figures throughout Wano. I know you don't think they're fleshed out, but, I mean, the flashback's already 14 chapters long.
I know, it's embarrassing that he couldn't flesh out these characters.
He fleshed out Shinobu, fleshed out Orochi, fleshed out a couple
Yeah, he
others.
made me like Shinobu in 2 chapters, so
That's
it
a
shows
good
how
panel.
good
I
of a
like-
writer he is and how he could have done this flashback justice, but it's
I like-
disappointing for me.
I like this panel with them all. Okay, go steal some food. And then we go back, great shot. It looks like Odin's actually just on fire right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's
They will speak of
legitimately
you
on
for
fire.
years to come, saying that you died a spectacular death.
Sick.
So this is where we're getting to Kaido seeing like he's seeing some respect because Kaido isn't suicidal at this point. So it's
Not suicidal at this
interesting
point.
now.
But
seeing
he
him-
is drinking a lot at this point.
Is he? You only see
Because
him,
he says in the last chapter, or 2 chapters ago, Odin says,
Oh, drunk
you're,
ass.
you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
drunk in your
Yeah,
in your
that's good.
palace.
Yeah, I'm coming up and cut off your drunken head or some shit. Like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
A spectacular. Yeah, but like
Something
Odin
like-
looks like he's just straight up on fire right now.
But that is the first time you see Kaido talk about spectacular death,
Yeah.
which is like what he wants now, supposedly.
Yeah. They can forget me for all I care. My soul will live on. I'm sorry about what happened with the old hag. I had her killed. How upright of you. That's a sarcasm, you know. It's just like, oh,
Love
dude,
to
that
see it.
cool, dude. After I was kicking your ass, you needed some old hag. Build your strength while you can. Just looking. This doesn't seem like for like it goes back like Orochi would have killed like civilians. Like bigger plans open the borders. My life's not important, but like it's still kind of like. Odin, you can mark this dude.
Yeah, like you had your swords in the prison cell.
For I am a story to accompany your drinks. I am Odin, and I was born Toki. And so
So
then
this
we go
is
on like
like,
a
yeah.
thought panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's Toki, Momonosuke, Hiyori. I shall be the first to leave. And this
Okay.
is what I was talking about.
This is very odd,
let me just
odd phrasing.
yeah. Okay.
You want to go back to it?
Yeah, we'll finish this. This is a sick moment. It's the death of Kazuki Odin. I was born. What I was talking about last chapter, I love silhouettes. Black. So the next picture you see is just Odin getting shot in the head. It comes back, blood splatters, some Japanese characters.
Classic Kabuki
Hands
pose.
up. Yeah, Kabuki pose like this. You see the boiling water. It's a beautiful, beautiful panel.
Looks cool.
Everyone's kind of like, oh, why couldn't they show it? Like, I like it when you see this. I like when you see silhouettes.
It's cool. Either
And
way
you
would have been
see
cool, I think.
Splash, and you see people just inspired.
I don't get that at all. What is that sound? I don't
What?
get like what
They're in awe. It's funny in the translation. It was just like inspired or some shit like that. I think they're in awe of this man, this guy who withstood 60 minutes in a boiling pot of oil, a man who held the scabbards above his head, a man who danced for them, a man who literally gave his life for the country.
Yeah, I just don't get what hoof is.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Okay, and this is really cool. I didn't pick up on this, but then it seems like he already splashes, right? And then he screams to boil. So my boy is like submerged in the water,
Oh, no,
right?
you're reading that wrong. You're reading that wrong.
What?
He goes, I am Odin, and I was born, and then he gets shot, and the crowd shouts to boil.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I don't
Definitely,
think so.
definitely.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's all in his same text bubbles. I don't think so.
Maybe,
dude.
I don't
I think
know.
this is Odin getting hit. He falls back, and on the flyer cap, you got people. I mean, I get what you're saying from over here.
Maybe.
And then, like, when he's getting
I don't know,
submerged, the last thing he screams.
Well, that would be sick. if
Is that
that's
not
the
cooler,
case.
though? He's just going down.
Okay, so a bunch of things about these. But yeah, that would be sick.
That would be sick. And then we see the smile.
Freedom!
See the smile. You go back to the bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, so he dies with a smile on his face.
A smile on his face. People were crying. All the while.
Like
the
the-
side.
okay,
and
so-
so ended one legend. All right, you can go ahead.
So this thought panel, he says, Toki Momonosuke Hiyori, I shall be the first to leave. Which to me
Scientology type shit.
is talking about he's the first one to leave and go to the present. That's how I read that. That is how I read that.
Oh, like he's scheming right now.
Like he's scheming and he dies with a smile on his face. Like he knows what's about to happen.
Well, I think he knows what happens if he has Wano on his side.
And in the coming pages, the evidence for him being in the present piles up. And we'll go through it panel by panel. But it's odd phrasing right there.
You see the guy with the
and it
map.
makes it seem like he's going to be here in the present. And I would not like that. That would be disappointing to me if Odin doesn't die here and Odin is in the present.
I think we already went into why we don't want Odin alive in the future and how we hope not. But yo, who's the guy taking care of Tama?
Tenguyama Hitetsu. Tama, great character. Love Tama.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Nah, you see his feet. I'm saying it'll be interesting. Like Odin kind of lost his legs, and he's this fucking guy.
Oh, that
And like he's shorter because he's submerged the whole time, but you see his
so
feet.
interesting.
Yeah. And the reason why he wears a mask is he's all fucked up. But they've already fleshed him in enough. But is that what you want to talk about? First of all,
The kabuki pose, very cool. But also, it's a silhouetting of him, so you don't see the bullet, you don't see the blood, you don't see him getting shot. It's silhouetted.
yeah, but that's beautiful though. I like
it's a really cool panel. It is a really cool
I like
panel.
silhouettes a lot more.
I wish it was
than anything
bigger.
else.
But it's a really cool panel.
That's the progression. It's a beautiful panel.
It is.
You got anything else from this page?
No.
Oh, actually, I got something to say about this. Some people were mad, saying like, "Oh, I can't believe Oda wrote in Kaido
I do,
shooting him
actually.
in the head. I can't believe Kaido's a shooter now, dude." Every single execution we've basically seen in One Piece comes down to an execution by a gun. Doflamingo Corzon, Doflamingo and his father, Blackbeard and Whitebeard. I mean, it goes on and on. What's his name?
Not Ace.
Not Ace, but yeah, come on. Arlong when and Nami's mom, gun to the head. The gun is used in a lot of the death scenes in One Piece.
Driss actually said something hilarious, which I think is true.
What?
Is you only see guns in flashbacks. Guns don't work in present day. They
That's
only
kinda
work
funny.
in flashbacks.
Well, I mean, you get Whitebeard.
Guns are only because in the present day, guns are like nobody can die from guns.
You get Whitebeard.
It's impossible to die from guns. Well, I don't think that's how he dies. He dies from like cannonballs to the face and a kind
Yeah, but
of.
eventually the thing that kills him
destroying
is all
him.
the bullets.
I don't think so.
And then you got
It's just funny because nobody dies in the present from flashbacks, but so many people in flashbacks die from guns.
That's his thing.
It's funny. It's fine. It works for me. Fine for me. What do you want Kaido to do? Come into a dragon and bite his head off?
That's what I'm saying.
It's-
It's
it's fine.
like ridiculous.
I guess because only people die in flashbacks, really. Besides,
Yeah, no, it's Pell.
Pedro-
And
Pedro will
so
come back.
ended the legend.
So another thing I wanted to say, he dies with a smile, and we talked about this at the beginning of Wano. Definitely think there's some connection between the Kazuki clan and the D's. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think, obviously the Kazuki clans have a big part in the Void War, and I think they were allied with the D's. That's why they wrote the poneglyphs, and they gave them to all these different tribes that were also allied with the D's, the Skypians, the Minks, the Fishmen.
See, the thing I'm getting nervous about is I hope there's not like some like afterlife type thing. So like when Odin says I'll be the first one to leave, like he's going to like a better spot, and like the reason why the D's dies, they know there's like a happiness on the other side, and like I'm getting nervous.
That would suck.
I'm getting a little nervous.
No,
about
I
this
don't
thing.
think so.
I'll be like that's when I see him like I'll
I
be
don't
the
think
first
so.
to leave. Like
I
we'll
think
meet
he's
up again.
talking about going to the present, which is a little scary for me also.
And so ended. I mean, she does. All right, so let's finish this up.
Yeah, so the evidence piles up for it after this.
So ended. Oh wait, we forgot to point out where the Panda Man was.
Oh, we forgot Panda Man. Damn it.
The Panda Man.
So Panda Man comes in this chapter.
Where is it?
Page 8. Page 8.
Bottom left corner.
Bottom left corner of the top panel. You see Panda Man throwing the deuces up. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. In the bottom left
It's actually
corner.
it's one of my favorite Panda Mans I've seen in some time.
Yeah, they're really funny.
It just stands out. It's a sick fucking panel.
It's a great panel.
And so ended one legend, to be carried on by the players of the next stage. My lady, I received word of Lord Odin's death. They say it was a tremendous end. Toki, I have reached my limit.
So this is like a
If
note
it's a
from
yeah.
Odin that she's reading.
If I fail to defeat him, there will be no others who can stop Kaido for a long time. So much disrespect for Whitebeard. Over 20 years ahead of us, there will likely be a massive war, terrible enough to
Destiny.
be split the seas themselves. Yeah, it's not what you've always been arguing, like 300 years they didn't achieve it. No, it's specifically 800 years from the past until now. In other words, in another 20 years, the primary figures of this great power will muscle their way into the new world. They are the ones who can strike down Kaido. A long winter will settle over Wano. I want you to use your power, Toki. If I should die...
And then she just rips up
you
the
start
paper.
seeing it start get ripped up.
So we don't know what's going on. So that could allude to, because it should be send the scabbards into the present day. Yeah. But because we already know the scabbards in the present, because she's ripped it up, it could say something about sending Odin to the present day also.
Yeah, I don't know how she can teleport him when she's at this tower though right now.
Right. I don't know how her power works at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But also, so it was Odin's prophecy? This is kind of disappointing for me because this was like the one chance that Toki got to like be important, to like be a part of this. But in the end, it wasn't even Toki's prophecy.
Yeah, no.
It was Odin. It was Odin's prophecy.
Toki's definitely the biggest letdown of this flashback.
No agency.
Then comes my least favorite part of the chapter. Please give the children these swords. It sounds dangerous. Aren't you sad? It's a death sentence. Who said you were going to die? Ha ha, that's my wife.
Who said you were going to die?
No,
Toki
see,
says.
I think that's what I'm getting about this whole soul thing and going ahead to like an afterlife. It seems like someone with the void century is that like he believes his will is going to live on. So when Toki says you're not going to die, it means you're not going to die because your will be surpassed. Like it's going to move on. You're not dying. Like your body may be dying, but your soul. Which gets me nervous. I'm saying I just get nervous about these kind of things. But this is what irks my bubbles. So going into the flashback, my number one question was how does Odin fight Kaido, lose, and then somehow give his swords to his family?
Yeah, I said that Hiyori stole the swords back, which
You
is
said
just
they
completely
stole
not
it.
true. I
Not
completely
true.
made that up.
The other thing I was thinking was like maybe he like left him behind and used another, like that was another thing we were saying, but that makes no sense because it says M was the one to cut him. And then what we get is Odin, who doesn't have a devil fruit, so Sea Prism Stone shouldn't mean anything to him, is in prison. Actually, can you cut Sea Prism Stone? Isn't that one of the things like Zoro can't even cut Sea Prism Stone?
Yeah, I don't think you can destroy it. That's why the poneglyphs are still out there, or else the world government would have destroyed them, right?
Yeah. I guess. So maybe that does explain why they couldn't cut it out of there. Anyways, regardless of the point of why he couldn't get it out or in or out, the fact that Orochi gives them his swords in prison is outlandish. Okay, but I'm thinking like how does she visit them? I think they're in that public square where it's like it's an insult, like you're in prison, like so civilians can see you, like, oh, that's the guy, that's the fool of the Lord, that's him here. So Togi just shows up, and none of the guards mind as he just hands over the only weapon ever in the history to cut Kaido down through the bars to Toki, setting up Zoro's entire character in Wano. So, I mean, you know, I think it's lazy writing. I got into some arguments with people who thought it wasn't. They say, if you want to ask questions, how did Odin get a cloth and rope to hide it in? That's not the question. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, that's another good question.
But who cares?
But
that's not the point. The point is, Orochi, what I thought would be a cooler way to do this is they were left at the battlefield and Shinobu picked them up. And then Shinobu brought him back.
But wasn't Shinobu in the jail cell with them?
No, he like tells her like, I've never seen that lady. Get her away from me. Like
she didn't get taken out. She was in
she-
the jail cell.
She wasn't
Odin
in the jail cell.
yelled that at her,
No,
and then
no,
all of a
no.
sudden she wasn't.
No, they were like, I feel like they were in the battlefield like tied up, and they looked at her, and she was like, no, I've never seen that person before. That's the way I saw it.
And so then they just let her go.
Yeah,
it doesn't make
she
sense.
wasn't. There was no connection between her and Odin.
It doesn't matter. She was fighting on the battlefield against them.
You can barely see it, man. It's a fucking battlefield. Anyways.
No way. That's crazy argument.
And then, so it would have been cool, like, she had it, and you see a panel of, like, her handing over, like, the swords to, like, these...
Or like someone else, like Yasu. It's like...
Or anybody, yeah.
Or just anything.
Not this.
Not this. Like,
not-
could have been a million different things.
This was Odin was like, oh, plot hole, plot hole, plot hole. Here you go. All right, that one's easy. Solve
It's just weird.
I'd be a laughing stock if anyone saw me crying. We are not your weakness. Look ahead, Odin, to 20 years
Look
in
ahead,
the future.
Odin, to 20 years in the
The story
future.
hurdles towards the present day.
The
The next
story
chapter, March
hurdles.
1st, no break, which makes me very happy.
Great news.
Always good. I mean, Toki does look kind of good here, where she's just like, yeah, it's chill, whatever. You just like when you heard about Toki, you expected voice century stuff. 800 years. The only thing you get is a couple off.
I expected it to be like a yin yang situation. Well, no, I expected it to be like Toki is like this really smart character who was like really intelligent and knew about the world and knew about like the history and like could shed some light on like give us some clues about like what happened in the Void Century and in the big war or whatever and all these something about the great powers like. Any kernel of something interesting that we could build theories off of, that we could talk about the world, that we could do any sort of thing.
But it was all Odin.
But it was all Odin, and Toki like really served no purpose at all except for making people not hate Odin when he deserted the country, which is like a flaw to Odin's character.
The thing is, she can always come back, though, man. I mean...
Yeah, maybe she will come back. I don't know.
You can get a flashback and you can flesh out a little bit more, but initial things... So now that this is over the flashback, assuming there's not like a couple quick pages like still in the flashback and we transition to like kind of half and half thing, it's basically the end of the flashback.
I think it's
kind of disappointed they ended I thought they should do at least one more chapter. I mean, this just seems like so abrupt. Like, I know we know what happens. Like, they run to the castle.
So
and
like
they,
yeah, so like
teleported.
things I'll say that I'm
But
disappointed.
There was things we wanted to see, like Jack. Was he there? Was Queen there?
Well,
was
Jack
King
was
there?
well, they were there at the castle.
And then like was Kyle there? Cut
We know they
Which
were.
is why I believe I still think we're gonna go back to this time one more time.
Yeah, so this is what I was gonna say. Like, I'm disappointed that we didn't see what happened at the castle when the Scabbards ran back and
Toki's just talking to them, explaining the situation. Then Jiro being like, "I'm gonna stay behind, guys." Like, oh, actually, Denjiro's fighting Kaido, isn't he, at that time? So I guess when Kaido shows up too, they're like kind of holding him off a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, would have been nice to see some of that. Maybe Denjiro's just dead.
I don't need to see that. I just want to see them like discussing things, talking about that. Like I don't need to see them fighting Kaido. I just want to see them be like,
It would have been nice to actually
everybody
see
run,
what
go
happened.
go save Momo. We'll hold off Kaido. Like that's all I need to see. Like okay, yeah, then Jiro's about that life. Like he's willing to like throw down. So is it sure. Like it's a couple dialogue scenes here and there.
We just don't see any fighting from anyone, really.
Yeah, you
like
see,
it's so
you
annoying.
See a couple glimpses.
Like,
you don't really see them in flashbacks most of the time.
If it's like if the reason for it is like saving them for the future, like then A, that comes at the expense of these chapters, and B, like their fighting styles can be cool more than once. Like that's just every time Zoro fights, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, sometimes he's
So it's like you don't need to save it. Like it's I hate that argument because it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I don't know. I'm disappointed that we didn't see what happened in the palace with the Scabbards. That we didn't see King, Queen, Jack like fighting, trying to kill the Kazuki, the rest of the Kazukis. Toki sending them to the future.
Momo's bugging out. I'm like, Hiyori, you gotta be strong. Stay with Kawamatsu.
Kaido comes. Yeah, like it would have been nice. I'm disappointed that we didn't see that.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought it was gonna be 2 chapters. I thought this was gonna end just like this, and then next chapter it was gonna be like, all right, they're going like as long as it didn't say this, people were like, all right, okay, we got them going to the castle now.
Yeah.
But just because we get this one little thing, it goes story hurdles towards the present. You get a little nervous.
So you want to do predictions for next chapter?
Well, there's a couple other things I want to talk about. Like I was disappointed about with this flashback I thought we were gonna get.
Okay.
Like this was one of my biggest ones I didn't like when it first happened. Was the old hag Oda recycling a devil fruit to take down another
Oh
nation.
yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Okay. And now I thought at first I was upset about it. You know, you got the Bon Clay fruit coming back, and then later we see again the barrier fruit being used to prevent Odin from killing Orochi. Now, 2 fruits that are both being used right now in present day by 2 of Luffy's biggest allies, in Bon Clay and Bartholomew. Like I said, I don't really believe in coincidences with Oda, so I find that very interesting. But I thought we were gonna have a way to like pull out like the origins of devil fruits. We were talking about them dying on a boat, going to the East Blue. Is like regional, or like when something blows up, like when someone dies, it just goes anywhere. But then how does Blackbeard get Whitebeard's fruit? You know, you explain the stuff from Punk Hazard when the Smiley or whatever that dude's name is, he blows up and his devil fruit gets transferred to another thing. We never really. I still think Vegapunk's gonna be used. So I was like, all right, how are these people going to die? And then we just get, I'm sorry about what happened with the old hag. I decided to kill her.
Off-paneled, off-screen
Off
death.
panel, you don't see it. I still think
One line.
Like I said, I think we're going to go back, and I would love to see that the old lady's just laughing, having a grand old time. Like, aha, we tricked Odin. And then just Kaido with his club just
Thunder Bagua.
matches her head, like
Yeah,
never
yeah.
get in the fight between 2 men again. Like, how dare you? Like, kind of shit like that. I thought that'd be really cool. But, like, what happens to the old man? Did the old man just die now? I mean, we see the barrier fruit one time, and then he's just no longer present. Like, it would be cool. This would have been sick. If when Orochi's sitting up here on this platform with Kaido, you have the old man sitting next to him. Like, to show Odin, like, no matter what you do right now, like, I am protected. Like, if you got some scheme to come up with, that would be something that would be like, okay, that's cool. Is this him? I don't know. That's a stretch.
I think it's Fukuro Kujo.
He's not there with Shinobu. So like that would have been cool. If you like every time you see Orochi from then on out, he's like always being protected by this guy. So like Odin never could have done anything, and if he tried to do anything, civilians would have died. But if the real end goal is to open the fucking borders, you put in a lot of faith. I mean,
There's a lot of questions.
there's a lot of questions. Dude, every time I get to this panel, it's sick. That's one of the things I wanted. I wanted to see Conqueror's Haki from Odin.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm
We
disappointed
hear about
about.
it, but we don't see it. I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity too.
Why do the Scabbards even know that he has Conqueror's Haki? He's never used
I don't
it.
know. Maybe when he clashed with Whitebeard, he displayed it.
But did anyone see that? I don't think anyone saw
never
that.
really saw it. But like this is what I'm saying. Like right before he sends them flying, he could have taken out these fodder like right here.
Yeah.
Like he could have done it.
Taking out all the Oniwa Banshu, and that's how Shinobu gets away.
And like you see these people like pass out, and he's like run, and then Kaido's like, oh, very clever. And then like, just like a little thing. I'm not gonna nitpick. You know, I'm not gonna.
I mean, it's disappointing, but it's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But like, how sick are those moments would have been? Like a
Yeah,
little
it would've been
Conqueror's Haki
so
right
cool
there.
if he used Conqueror's Haki. I thought for sure he was going to.
I thought for sure. I thought it made so much sense, but never set up headcanons and be disappointed when they don't come out. I mean, that's the thing. Okay. But chapter, yeah, I mean, I gave it like a solid 8.3, 8.5.
Just to be over mine.
No,
What is it? 8.3.
I wanted to put it. I was thinking about putting it in 9s, but because of the shit with the swords,
There's too many questions for it to be a 9.
I like the
It's a good chapter.
Yeah, 8.3, 8.5. I wanted to do a lot of those, like 8.8, 8.6, 8.7.
Well, that's super annoying of you.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh fuck, I don't give a shit.
It's like, is there like a mathematical equation, or like why is it not an 8?
8.2 is not as good as an 8.3. It's pretty obvious if you ask me.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't want to give it an 8.5 because 8.5 is lofty, you know, but I'm not going to give it an 8 because it's better than an 8. But I'm not going to like, so I'm in the middle range, but I think it's better than I think it's less. So it's an 8.3 instead of 8.2. And then, yeah, I was going to say something else.
Predictions.
Not predictions.
Oh, you're going to say something else?
Yeah, I forgot that. Oh, yeah, because, I thought last chapter was better than this chapter. With him getting into the bar in the water.
Yeah, no.
That one I probably
I don't think so.
That one I probably given an 8.5.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think
The
so.
scene when he first gets him over his head.
Oh, because I was gonna say. Oh, I forgot to say this, but this is something that you got so mad about. But this is something I truly believe that this chapter makes me realize this part specifically.
Oh my
makes
God.
me realize why the Scabbards so badly in the present day want to open the borders of Wano. Before and why they're so.
You see why they care right here. And
Yeah,
we've
but
already
that's
seen.
paper thin,
But we've
dude. That's
already
so
seen these
stupid.
flashbacks.
That's so dumb.
Just
That
because you
can't
don't
be.
like what it is, it's clearly this is like the I'm saying they were low lives, and
It's
because
just
of Odin.
paper thin. Like if that's the reason
This
why
isn't
they're
paper thin.
faithful.
These are the most loyal. These ones make the most sense.
Those are also. I said that
These
chapter was
ones make
good.
the most sense.
Kawamatsu,
Kinemon and
Neko and
Denjiro make
Inu, I
sense.
get why they're faithful. It makes sense to me. It's whatever, strong connection. Even though Odin tries to kick them out as soon as they start following him, whatever. They don't have anywhere to go, so they grow up in that palace. Okay, I get it. But like these relationships that they have are like just not strong.
But it also goes back to Odin, like, since he was born, he was always known he was going to become the leader of Wano. That was his thing. He was like it was a destiny thing, like Luffy wouldn't want. He's like, dude, I don't want this shit. So when he has people following him, he's like, I don't want these people following me. I don't want to become that type. I just want to get off of Wano. I want to leave. I'm going to go explore the world. This place is too cramped for me.
Yes, he doesn't want anything to do with these guys.
But he still welcomes them into him. Like, just
he
because he doesn't want them.
doesn't forcibly kick them out. He tells them to leave many times.
Yeah, because he wants to be free. He wants to
Yeah.
do his things. But you definitely see him care for them. Otherwise, he wouldn't let them
I don't
in.
think you never see him care for them ever at any point.
Not last chapter when he puts them above his boiling fucking head.
He does that because
Because
he
you
wants
gotta
the
open the
border of
borders.
Wano.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, he wants to open the borders of Wano.
That's paper thin.
What is paper then?
What
That
you
argument?
just said. Yeah, what you just said. That's
He
paper.
literally says it in the
Yeah,
chapter.
but because he trusts them, because he cares for them. He wouldn't
I don't-
say that if he didn't trust them.
I don't
if
think he
didn't
has a
care for them.
choice. He has no one else to trust.
Yeah,
These are the
Whitebeard,
only people that
Shanks-
can do it.
Whitebeard, Shanks, he thinks it needs to be the Kazuki clan that opens Wano. It was the Kazuki clan that closed it. It needs to be the Kazuki clan that opens it. The Kazuki
yeah, I
clan
don't understand why he doesn't
right
contact
now
Whitebeard at any
is
point.
the Scabbards.
At this point, he has no choice. He can't contact Whitebeard anymore. He has to lay this on
Luffy's.
the Scabbards and on them, the Joy Boy coming 800 years from now. 800 years from whatever. 20 years
I
from
was
now.
thinking the reason why I think you need the OP. Okay, so now I'm listening.
But
okay.
it makes sense to me. Like
No.
he pushes them. He says, "Open the borders of Wano." He tells them that he knows the secret of the world, that they need to open the borders of Wano so that there will be like whatever. Like he expressively tells them what's going on, which he has not done once in the flashback so far. He has not divulged any emotion or feelings or told them anything at any point in the flashback. So this is the first time he does that. He explains to them like what's going on, what he wants, why he wants it, what happened, a little bit of history of the Kazuki clan, and he pushes them off and says, "Open the border for Wano," as he saves their life, right? So that to me, then they immediately run to Curry to save the castle, and then they get sent to 20 years in the future. So that's literally the last thing that like happens to them in their minds. The last thing that happened to them is that he pushed them off the boiling pot and says, "Open the borders of Wano." So it's very recent in their minds. It's really close,
You've known this
and
forever,
it's like strong. It's like a strong thing that they have. So I get why them, and I also get why when they come back, Ashura Doji is like, "Get the hell out of here. I don't care about that anymore. I don't want to deal with this because like I went through these 20 years of suffering, and he doesn't have that recency that they have.
Yeah,
where
well,
they're
that's why
like,
they
boom, boom,
wanna
boom,
join.
let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Like that, I get why they're like that, and why Ashura Doji's another way, and I get why they really badly want to open the borders to Wano. It made me understand it this chapter.
I feel like you got that last chapter too, though.
It wasn't as strong for me
Anyways.
because once he puts him on the plank, it's still, and they learn about why he was dancing for 5 years. If I was the Skywards, I'd be like, okay, like why the fuck didn't he tell me that? Like that information would have been nice since we just thought he was dancing around and like we could have like figured something out together. And B, they already know at this point that what he did for the 5 years was the wrong choice because Kaido said to all of them that they could have staged a war or staged a fight that Odin could have won, and the Scabbards wanted to do that.
But people still would have died, though.
But the Scabbards wanted to fight, and he could have fight.
He doesn't care about the Scabbards. He cares about the civilians.
I'm talking about the Scabbards.
But I'm saying the plan was
I'm talking about the Scabbards, though.
Yeah, okay, I'm saying, but he's willing to...
I'm saying I don't think that's the Scabbards. Why the Scabbards are loyal? Because they already know that he made the wrong choice.
But how's that
So
the
just
wrong...
learning that.
How's that the wrong choice? Because he saved civilians' lives. He saved like 26,000 people's lives.
Because he didn't save any lives because he allowed a country to suffer for 20 years. His decision that he made not getting Kaido and Orochi out of power
But he still was saving
enabled
lives, and
20
then he
years
was
of
go-
suffering. And we just watched the anime. All these villages
Yeah, we know.
dying of
Because of that.
thirst,
Or
dying of
because of that, yeah.
starvation, had to eat smile fruits.
Yeah, and now their lives are going to be better.
Enslaved,
Now their lives are going to be
imprisoned.
20 years of pain for a lifetime of happiness. These people are going to be fine now. Luffy's going to come in there. He's going to save their fucking lives. And now Wano's going to be a prosperous spot with the rest of the world. He took a bet for the long run. They went through a long winter. Winter is a soft word there, Odin. Okay, they're going through hell. Okay, they're struggling out here. But it goes into it. What I wanted to talk about is now that we're getting to Joy Boy, you know the theories about with the large hat is a body being frozen now.
Yeah.
Why does the world government want the Opie fruit so bad?
Do they?
Yeah, it's the most powerful one. Doflamingo says if I had that fruit...
Doflamingo wants it.
Yeah, and Doflamingo wants that great power. It's also the world government is about to pay $5 billion for it.
$5 billion for what?
For the Opie fruit. That's how Law gets it. So they were going to trade it with Drake's father, who was an old Marine guy. He got kicked out, and then the trade was going to go there. Corazon goes in there, steals it, gives it to Law. Law then performs harmful surgery. But Doflamingo is going to steal it from Drake's father. So that's like how that whole thing went down. And then, but the Opie fruit, what you can do, we've seen it before, is switch personalities. So if you can give your heart, so say Doflamingo switches his personality with Law, then with that heart, he can give his heart into Joy Boy, thus activating Doflamingo's personality and his life into the great power that is Joy Boy.
You're going to hate this, but that is a Joy Boy theory.
Fuck!
I've literally watched the video where Joy Boy said all that. But it's a good theory. It's a good theory.
I take back everything.
The only problem with the theory, my only problem with the theory is that if the Opie no Mi is literally like basically ancient weapon level powerful, if like the world government can do this thing with it, then why don't they just kill Law? Right?
They probably figure they can use them. You need someone who's master at it so they can kind of just, they capture Law, they can use them.
I don't know. I feel like they could just kill him and get the double free.
And they made him a world government guy to keep him close. Well, you don't exactly know where it goes. Only Blackbeard was the first guy. It's weird. And the other thing, too, is that's when Moria comes into with Joy Boy. Because the Marines wanted
I do think
Moria.
there's something to that theory.
Marines wanted him with Doflamingo after Marine Forward. And it said Vegapunk wants you for something, which goes back to SSG maybe. Maybe they're creating artificial soldiers with Germa 66 technology that we know Vegapunk has a connection to. Mm-hmm. With that, he puts them out. He uses Moria's fruit to transfer souls into their lives and has them eat artificial fruits so that like they're like almost like every single Shishibu guy and every single admiral. And they're just nerfed and they're murking people.
Well, they have to have... Right. Okay. Sure.
I just hope it's not robots, but
all right.
People love robots.
Predictions for next chapter.
Oh, wow. This is a shit show. I mean, it can go anywhere.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think.
I go.
So, and this is gonna lead into the next chapter I have. Maybe we should do group chat instead of doing top 5 this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So this is what I think. Predictions for next chapter. I think that we are going to go, because there's no break. I think we're gonna get one more chapter and then break. And so I think that the flashback is over here. And I think the next chapter that we're gonna get, we're going out of Wano, baby. We're getting some
Sabo.
We're getting some Sabo, maybe. We're getting some Boa, some Kobe. We're gonna get something out of Wano.
Where
I
they're like,
think.
actually, it would make sense because this whole chapter, the way it ends, is all about opening the borders of Wano.
Yeah.
Now, why would you open the borders of Wano? So allies can come. So if Oda can go to the people that can potentially be the ones coming to Wano.
Yeah. But I don't think that this is the end of Act 3.
No,
So it makes it a little
The
weird.
end of Act 3. How can it
makes
be
it
the end of Act 3?
Well, a lot of people think it's the end of Act 3.
A lot of people are idiots. It's 15,
I mean,
14 chapters. You think the Act 3, the peak of any fucking
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
5-stage act, is going to end on 15 chapters?
Yeah, it
You're
doesn't
going to
make
get at
sense.
least 40 more chapters. Who's saying it's over now? Why? Because it ended in a
Like
tragedy?
everyone, yeah.
Because it ended in a tragedy?
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
Because Act 3 in Kabuki Place ends
Yeah, I
in
know
a
they
tragedy.
ended in a tragedy, but
Yeah.
we already known about the tragedy. The tragedy's going to happen is the Straw Hats are going to get their ass kicked again. And they're going to get locked up in prison.
I
And
really like this idea.
And someone's going to escape, and the swords in them are going to be out. They'll come out and save
So the
them.
idea is that, like, Act 3, like, we're going to go back. There's going to be, like, I think, like, probably 15 to 30.
Fire festival.
There's
Maybe the traitor reveals his head, and that's
Yeah, I think there's going to be, like, 15 to 30 more chapters of Act 3.
no, at least 30, at least 30.
No, I don't think
And
we're
that's-
going
and
to do
that's
more
soft.
than 30. I don't think
It's
we're
only
going
gonna
to
be 40 chapters.
45 chapters, yeah.
40 no. You're gonna hit the 50. You're gonna hit the 50, and you might even crack into.
Why?
60.
It doesn't, I don't know.
Because I think you're following progression. The first
15?
act. The first act was 15. Next
Then
act
30,
was 30.
then
So it'd be
45.
60. No, it'd be
No, I
60.
don't think
Oh, you
it's
think
gonna
it's
be
15
45.
chapters? No, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's like.
I think it's going to be 15, 30, 45, 30, 15.
No, I think
or
it's
like,
gonna, I think it's
like
gonna,
15, 5.
I think it's
something
gonna
like
double
that.
because it's the peak, and then it's gonna go back down to 15 and 30.
I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. I can
30,
see.
15.
I can see it.
What does that mean?
But so it's weird because usually we go outside of Wano at the end of every act.
Yeah.
So maybe we go back to Wano next chapter. Go back to the broken ships.
I mean-
Broken ships in the storm that the scabbards are all. I mean, that would be cool to go back to that right now.
It would be.
So Tyler's idea, which I really like, is that Act 3 will be the start of the war, and then something bad will happen. There'll be some conflict some climactic event of the war where they don't think they can come back from, and the Straw Hats and Coalition look really bad. And then Act 4 is going to start when, like, the Revolutionary Army comes, or,
Revos,
like, the reinforcements.
Whitebeard.
A whole wave of other people are going to
Fleet,
come
yeah,
in Act 4, and
Sword.
then that's going to be the rest of the war.
And then 5 is like the resolution.
And then the
I
5 is
think.
like a quick resolution,
Yeah.
like in a normal Kabuki play,
Yeah.
which is what the arc is
So,
structured after.
Luffy
so it's going to
fights-
be like
yeah.
Marineford, where it was Whitebeard versus the Marines, and then it was Luffy versus the Marines.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be Luffy versus, and then it's going to be like Luffy and his coalition.
And then
versus.
actually Act 5 could be like, then like Shanks comes in like, to help that ends
Could
the
be.
whole thing.
And then they go to Elbaf.
And then they go their own ways.
I think so.
I
think
mean,
it could be that.
I can see it totally happening. I mean, you know me, man. Expect anything and everybody.
Oh yeah, anybody and everybody. You can't just steal Red Force's lines. I don't think anybody and everybody.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
Fucking A right.
Who do you think's coming to Wano? You think everybody?
I think a large portion of people are going to be coming to Wano. I think for sure Marco and Izu with the Whitebeard Pirates will show up. I think for sure the Marines
I
and
agree
Sword,
with Marco and Izzo. Yeah.
the Marines and Sword are going to show up. I think for
Do you
sure.
think so? Because they said that they weren't gonna show up. They said specifically that they weren't.
That's just to keep you confused. I think
I mean,
for
yeah,
sure.
it could be
first
owed in
of all-
this direction. He does
First
it
of
a
all, they're
lot, but
already there.
It'd be tough for like me to foresee
Yeah.
like how they come and how they get there and
They
why.
live on
and
Stockholm.
why.
Yeah,
Technical
I
difficulties.
don't know the cross streets. It's called the Tea Factory.
Yeah, just Google Maps it.
Yeah. All right. What? We're already upstairs, dude. Yeah, dude sucks to suck. See you in a bit. It's 3:12. Just might have to cut that. Just Giving people's addresses.
Yeah, not great.
What was it? Oh, in 3, who's going to show up? I think the Revolutionary Army is going to show up. Not sure if Dragon. I want Dragon to be there, but I do think they are going to show up. I think the Grand Fleet's going to show up.
You think Dragon and the Revolutionary Army is going to show up?
I think Dragon makes the most
That
sense. Because
makes
first of all,
more sense to me than the Marines.
First of all, well, it makes sense because at Dressrosa they say we got to go to the spot to stop the weapons distribution.
And this
They
is where
figure
it's
out it
happening.
wasn't Dressrosa, it is Wano. So they already have incentive and story evidence suggesting the Revos have purpose in Wano.
And Sabo said anytime Luffy's in trouble.
I always thought it was going to be for the Sea Prism Stones and shit, but I guess that goes to the weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got them in there. I think Dragon makes sense just because you can show his strength, finally. Also think Dragon knows things about the Void Century. So he probably knows
Definitely. That's why he
about
started the Revolutionary
this
Armies.
20 years. Wano's very important. We need Wano to open. So I think that's already kind of thing where
And the
like,
Revolutionary Army brings Koshiro.
no.
Because we see in the anime that there's a scene where Koshiro lets Ivankov stay in his dojo and he becomes friends with Ivankov.
Well, yeah. I mean, he gives them drinks and food when Sabo dies, or believes to be dead when they pick him up. So there is a connection between Koshiro and the Revolutionary Army. Okay, so cool. Whatever. I think Tashigi and I think Smoker are gonna show up. Smoker not so much sure about as I do think Tashigi. Tashigi's all about swords. It makes sense for her to show up. It seems like she's over.
Tashigi shows up, Smoker has to also show
Yeah,
up.
it's usually working too. Which I also think Vegapunk, because we know they're with Vegapunk right now because they just left Punk Hazard to see Vegapunk. Vegapunk's already been mentioned in Wano, and I think we might be finally getting to a little bit of Vegapunk action. Very excited for it.
I don't think so.
I think
Maybe
I'm not
maybe
sure
an
what
Elbaf.
I think Fujitora. I think Green Bull showing up because he is Denjiro. I think Shanks also makes sense to show up in this flashback. You see the connection between Shanks and Momo. There's at least 3 panels of them playing together. He's tight with Odin. He loves Luffy. I think Blackbeard's gonna show up. I'm more sure about Blackbeard than I am with the other guys. Blackbeard makes sense.
Blackbeard makes sense, but it's
With
kind of
Moria.
hard for him to get there if he's we don't know where he's going.
With Moria.
We don't know where Blackbeard is going after Sabo dies.
Yeah.
So it would
Well, I was saying he can split up his crews. He doesn't even send his whole crew. Same way Luffy didn't send his whole crew to Whole Cake Island. He sent
Right.
some people there. He said some people here.
So I definitely think I think it makes sense in Grand Fleet to come.
Grand Fleet, yeah, definitely.
Definitely coming.
With Jinbei.
With Jinbei. Jinbei's got to show up. I mean, Sun Pirates or have to come, or they're all dead.
They're not dead, dude.
I have to think that Revolutionary Armies make some sense. I think Blackbeard makes some sense. Those to me are the factions that I think could show up.
Whitebeard Pirate's almost
Marco
confirmed.
and Izu definitely showing up. I mean, right now the Straw Hat Coalition looks like it's going to have a really tough and, quite frankly, losing battle against the Beast Pirates.
Well,
Just the Straw Hat Coalition against the Beast Pirates.
not even including Big Mom Pirates.
Not even including Big Mom and the Big Mom Pirates. So they need a lot of help right now.
Yeah.
They need a lot of people to show up right
Yeah.
now. So, and I do think this war is going to be like the beginning of the end for One Piece. I've been saying this.
This is
for a
where
while.
this is where people pick sides.
This is where the world is thrown into chaos and the end game starts to unfold from this war, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I agree. And then get elevated. That's about it. Do you want to give your rating over the flashback in general?
Oh my god. I haven't even considered this. We don't even know if this is the flashback for sure yet. I feel like if I was going to do that, we should wait until it's confirmed the end of the flashback, and I should read the flashback through and then give my...
Yeah, overall thing. I'll probably give it, just top of my head, I'll probably give it like a 7.
I could tell you off the top of my head, it's definitely lower than that.
Well, I figured that, dude.
If I had to just think-
I'm wondering if you're gonna touch the 5, because that's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting harping on you when you're saying this flashback sucks. Like there are bad parts in this flashback and things I would change and enjoy more, but there are enough parts to say there are good moments in this flashback that I enjoyed. So it's not like this flashback sucks
To me-
or it's fantastic. It's just like it's a meh flashback.
To me, I thought there were 4 good chapters in these 14. and the other 11 were either they ranged from
So
being
you like
they-
the last two. You didn't like the Roger things. You didn't like the Whitebeard
so
things.
so the Roger things I enjoyed. It was fun. It was fun for me to read about Roger, to see Baby Shanks, but I don't necessarily feel like those were good chapters. Like I don't think they progressed the story. They didn't really give us much.
Roger clashing
Except for
with
the
Whitebeard.
laugh tale. I mean, that was hype. That was awesome.
Laugh Tale was sick.
But like that
Tom,
moment alone,
Frankie.
like won't make a chapter good for me. Like
It was a good chapter, man. You're seeing Roger, man, in this
it was
element.
awesome. I enjoyed them a lot. They were a lot of fun,
Right,
but
so that's
they didn't
what-
really progress the story to me. They didn't like do like there were 2 chapters of the Roger where they
He
just
wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those stories.
wouldn't be where.
He wouldn't be holding these people over his head if he didn't go to the Poneglyph. It would be a totally different thing. The only
Yeah, but-
reason why
but-
we're even
but-
in
but-
the
but-
story
but-
of One Piece.
I'm not
is
saying
because
that
of
it happened. Okay, listen. This is actually going to be like people, I feel like the community and like Reddit community type people are going to freak out at this. But I personally believe that this flashback would have been a lot better. Hear me out.
Without Odin.
If they, well, yes, but if they didn't show his adventures on the sea, if they didn't show his Whitebeard adventures, and if they didn't show the Roger adventures, and all 14 chapters that we got were him on Wano, and established Wano as a setting, the Wano characters, what was going on, like all that, if it was focused on Wano, and we just heard stories of Whitebeard, and just adding to the allure, adding to the mystique of Roger, because I don't honestly feel like we got that much from about Wano, about Odin, about this flashback, and about these characters from him being on sea with Roger. Like I don't really think we did.
You say that now, but if Oda would have done that, you would be like, I don't care about Raizo, this fucking piece of shit ninja.
Unless he made me care about him.
I want to see Whitebeard. What's Whitebeard doing? What's like? How are we
I'm
not
sure
getting
I
this
would have
Roger
said
shit?
something like, "Oh, I
would've-
want to see Roger.
Like,
I
I
want
don't
it so
care
bad."
about this
But it's like I
Kinemon
don't think I would be
trash.
criticizing it.
I think you would be.
No,
I
don't
think you're
so,
saying
because-
like, how
because
can you give me Raizo and not Roger? I don't give a shit about
Because-
this stupid ninja.
It's just not true because I hated that we left the flashback for the Gyukimara thing, and then I ended up really liking the Gyukimara flashback. I thought it was one of the best parts of that act. Like there are things that I don't necessarily want that I end up liking, and I'm happy to admit that.
Yeah.
Like, this, to me, was very
You were
disappointing.
not expecting to get that much Roger. Don't even lie. Don't
No,
lie.
I was not at all. I was shocked at the amount of Roger that we got. Shocked. And it was good, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't love the Whitebeard stuff, honestly. I didn't love the characterization of his crew.
Dude, I thought that was great.
I didn't like everything Odin did in any of those
You
chapters.
didn't like-
I thought they were all very
you didn't like
offensive to the
Od-
Scabbards and Wano.
You didn't like him holding on to the thing for 3 days and letting
It was
go
like a
because
cool
the-
thing, but it was
because the
kind of
girl
weird.
was-
It didn't like
because the
seem
girl
like
was in distress.
didn't seem like something that Whitebeard would do. It was like this.
Whitebeard
he was just,
Whitebeard didn't want him on the ship.
Yeah, I know.
He had to earn it. He did. He got Whitebeard's dude. Whitebeard's one of the most stubborn fucking people in the world.
And he says-
Odin
and his-
broke him.
His Whitebeard's
And then-
literal
and then
thing was that he
Whitebeard
doesn't
called-
want someone strong on his ship, so he says, "Prove that you're strong."
No, it's not that. It's not that.
That's
at
what
all.
happens.
It's not that at all.
That's what
He
happens.
says he doesn't
Doesn't make
like
sense.
people like Odin because he just came from the rocks and they don't follow instructions.
Yeah, he doesn't want other strong people.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
It's not.
That's
just
what
about,
he
It's
said.
not about strength. It's like about someone.
Well,
that will
that's what
follow-
he said.
No,
So,
it's
so
about
have
some-
this argument with Whitebeard, not me, because that's what
He
Whitebeard said.
said strong people like that don't follow instructions, but Odin shows he'll follow instructions for the better of the people. When
But
he
then
lets
why didn't he
go.
just let him up after like 2 weeks, or like whatever?
2 days?
Yeah,
When he shows he does it.
yeah,
I think when you see him holding on, Whitebeard thought there's no way this guy's gonna hold on. Like
yeah. So he was just down to like let him like
see his
float
face,
out.
and then he lets go, and like Whitebeard's kind of relieved, and then he sees the reason why he let them go was because of a thing, and he had no problem. He's like, I'm gonna take you on an adventure of your lifetime, and that's when he like welcomes him in onto the crew. I don't think Whitebeard ever really wanted him on it, and then when he saw that
didn't.
moment, yeah, and then when he saw that moment,
Right.
is when he was like, okay, this is the guy I can trust. This is the guy I can call my brother.
Yeah, I
this is the
agree.
guy I can bring into my crew and make us better.
Calls him brother. Yeah.
Calls him brother, man. And then Roger says, "Oh, Samurai escaped from Wano. Let me see who this man is."
And then fodderizes
He is
him.
only,
Sick.
yeah, dude. He gets right back up, man. Don't be talking shit about my boy Odin like that. But yeah, that's basically it. My prediction for next chapter, honestly, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
What would I like for next chapter? I think I would probably like to go off Wano a little bit, see where everybody is, what moves they're making. You know, it'd be sick to see like Sabo being treated by Dr. Correa, one of my predictions. That would be sick. Just jam that shit into some people's faces. And then That would be cool, yeah. But it's kind of just see like where the layout is of everybody, like what's going on with Boa and Kobe. It would be very sick. If we would go back to Wano, maybe like a little flashback, like before the bombing raids happened. See how like the Straw Hats got out of it, where Luffy is. I don't think you're gonna see where Luffy is next chapter. There's no way. It's gonna be.
I think so.
You
If
think
we
so?
go back to Wano, we'll definitely see Luffy.
If you see Luffy, it's gonna be last page of the chapter of him looking yoked
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
getting
be
ready to
sick.
do
It's
something
gonna be
crazy, you know.
Oh, I need that now.
Dude, but I think this
If
Kaido.
we go back to Wano, we'll see Luffy next chapter.
This Kaido Luffy fight, I think it's gonna be very similar to the Crocodile fight. Luffy gets his ass kicked the first time.
Well, that already happened.
Luffy gets his
Okay.
ass kicked. Second fight, Luffy finds out a secret to harm him, but Crocodile's still
Rio?
Crocodile. Yeah, so Crocodile's still Crocodile, so he has another trick up his sleeve.
Right.
That catches Luffy sleeping.
Right.
But Luffy knows
I think that's
Luffy
also, yeah.
knows he can hurt him now. And then third fight, Luffy's just gung ho. He don't give a shit. I got blood dripping down from my hands. I'm just gonna fuck you up and pummel the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the exact same thing, but I didn't actually make the connection to the crocodile fight. That's a great connection. I think
Yeah.
it probably is going to
Yeah.
go something exactly like that.
Like
yeah.
you get word of Luffy, okay, I can punch him. We got a chance now, but it's still Crocodile. You gotta be careful,
Yeah.
man. Like he has this secret sick. That's what I think. If you gonna see Kaido's hybrid form, which we haven't seen yet, I think it's gonna be the moment where Luffy's kind of messing him up a little bit.
When Lucci's like, remember what happened to you in this
Yeah,
form?
Yeah, exactly, some shit like that. And he's just,
He's like, I was hungry. Luffy's like, I was hungry.
he's like, bitch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's the kind of way I see with the fight. Get a little king action. But yeah, very excited for next week or this week, whatever it is.
Yeah. Should we can end it, or we can talk about flashbacks that we want,
Or the subjects, or yeah, I mean,
or
it
there's
depends,
like a couple more concepts that we haven't talked about from the group chat that like we can
yeah, we
get
can go into that. I mean, I'll pour myself another drink.
What do you want to get into?
Whatever you have on your list.
Well, there's two things on the group chat we could talk about. There's three things. They're all kind of stupid. Or we could talk about the flashbacks and backstories that we want. Or we could save that for
You
next
can save
week.
that. I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to head over to their place anytime soon, or I gotta get some food in me?
We probably should head over there soon if we're gonna go.
Yeah, we can save it for next week.
Okay.
Is there anything you want really bad on that list right now? Because I can
To
pour
talk about?
I can pour myself another drink and hash it out for a little bit. I think they got Popeyes by them. Popeyes chicken. Oh, we're sponsored by Popeyes chicken. Please
That's true.
send me some. We're gonna start. We're getting a lot of sponsor calls from our hard work we got. So, Cup of Noodles
I
reached
think
out.
we collectively have triple-digit views on all four videos.
And it's a steady decline,
Steady decline.
which is the funniest part. Yeah. So, is there anything you want to talk about, or we got 60 more minutes on this card. I mean, I can cut it, start up a second clip, or
Okay, you want to talk about the group chat stuff? Or
Yeah,
you wanna
sure.
do flashbacks. And...
let's talk about the.
Okay.
Because if we talk about talking about flashbacks, I'll go into like probably a 60-minute thing.
Maybe this could be the new segment. We do some top lists sometimes. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll
figure it out.
We
We'll
gotta
see.
we gotta figure this whole thing out. We're not doing too great. But we're trying out the group chat thing. Okay. So this is one. These all are horrible. This one's ridiculous. But what are the actual chances? Okay, hear me out. So actually, Tyler asked me a question. This is important for the viewers to know. Tyler asked me a question in the group chat this week, and
The translations,
Tyler, we could get into that if you want, but I didn't have anything about that.
those buns.
Tyler asked me if I had to choose who would be a better reveal for Denjiro, Kyoshiro, or Green Bull. I said Green Bull, easy.
Yeah.
Green Bull would be way better for the story.
Yeah.
Kyoshiro would be, it would just need so much
Lazy
explaining,
writing.
like what's going on,
I don't
why
want.
did it
I
happen.
don't want it to be like the
Then he's
swords,
gonna like switch back.
where
It's
it's
like,
just like, oh, I hold my eyes up like this. Or
Yeah,
I
like-
put makeup on. We're like,
well, that's what happened with Yasu, and you liked that.
what? No, Yasu lost his body frame. Yasu was different. Yasu used to be a great man. You see him this chapter. He's dignified. Now when you see him, he's like a bone. It's the same thing with Hio. It's like these people haven't eaten enough food, so like their entire body changed. Kiyoshiro looking just fine. I mean, the guy eats as much as he wants. He's yoked right now. Okay. Then I also ask people, when has Oda ever used a disguised character that's not wearing a mask in One Piece? Like usually, if he's gonna disguise a guy like Garp came in with the dog head.
Or he
You
does
had
silhouette.
Rob Lucci and CP9 with the mask, and he
But
didn't
he
have
didn't do it with Yasu.
and he didn't have Rob Lucci, but he changed his frame and he gave him the top piece like he did with Hio.
Seems like he's doing that with.
But like it's just like these
Kiyoshiro
things.
also.
But Kiyoshiro looks the same though. He doesn't look frail and decrepit.
We don't even know what he looked like.
The only example someone gave
How
me
does he
where
even look
a
the same?
disguise worked was people said when Kinemon pretended to be Doflamingo in Dressrosa. So you're saying
And when Igaram pretended to be Vivi.
who?
Igaram?
Oh, with that thing, yeah. But everyone calls him out in 3 seconds though.
Yeah.
Like Vivi, we know that's you. Where's Vivi? Whatever it is. So like that gets exposed. Kinemon does get exposed because you guys never seen Kinemon before. It's one day in Dressrosa in a panic. But you're telling me Denjiro, the number 1 scabbard behind Odin, who has been his scabbard, who has fought Kaido, who they've seen right here again on a boiling ball. They just don't recognize him for 20 plus years because he has makeup on in the morning. Like that is so impossible to understand. Like that, and like it better not just be one panel where he goes, "Ha ha, yeah, I was wearing makeup," and everyone goes, "Oh, okay, that's that." That is so weak. That would be really disappointing. That's my only complaint. Like, there's a lot of evidence that points to him being Kiyoshiro, but just like that is what's so frustrating.
It would be very frustrating.
It'd be so
It
frustrating.
would be a lot more interesting if like Denjiro was like, okay, like this is it. I gotta get off this island and find Whitebeard,
I
find
need help.
or he like does a Zoro and accidentally gets lost and falls out of the island, and then he has to
Falls
become
into
a
Vegapunk.
bounty hunter, and then he gets like picked up by the world's government to pluck to be like
Yeah.
an
Becomes tight
admiral.
with Vegapunk.
Because we know that Fujitora and Green Bull became admirals through a draft, and Fujitora wasn't in the world's government at all prior. Or he wasn't in the Marines prior.
Yeah, some weird.
He wasn't in the Marines prior because he says multiple times
We always
in
theorize.
Dressrosa.
We always theorize celestial dragons type stuff.
Yeah, we theorized that he was like bodyguard for celestial dragons.
That's
CP0
why he cut
type,
out his
and
eyes,
That's why he
because-
cut out his eyes. He saw horrible things that the celestial dragons did. So maybe I mean that makes sense. That I can see that. But Green Bull, Denjiro did something like that and then became Green Bull. It's very possible. But also, okay. So sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm saying Green Bull seemed like he's tight with Vegapunk.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So like when he sees Fujitora at Marijoy, he goes, "How's old man Green Bull doing?"
Old man
like
Vegapunk.
almost, old man Vegapunk, which shows like there is relation, like which would make sense. Like Vegapunk sees him, he's a samurai, blah blah blah. You get Kuma, you get the revolutionaries. Vegapunk's the most. Speaking of flashbacks, I need a Vegapunk. He's like one of the most mysterious characters in One Piece that I know nothing about, and I just want to know something about it.
Yeah.
He's like they've been burying him. You got
Completely
the connection.
failed.
You got the situation going on with Jeremy 66. You got the situation going on with Caesar the Clown. You got the situation going on with Kuma. You got the situation going on with Drake.
Yeah.
You got the situation going on with Kizaru. Like you got the situation going on with the SSG. You got the situation going on with Smoker. You got a lot of people storylines going through this Vegapunk character,
Yeah.
and we know little to nothing. Only that he's not a giant. Okay, and he's from a futuristic island where he tried to make the place warmer. Okay, that is all we know about
Baltimore.
him. And he shows that he has good tendencies, but I would actually enjoy Vegapunk being a bad guy. It's just a lot of things point to him being a good guy.
It seems like he's gonna be like a moral justice type who's working with the Revolutionary Army to change Kuma for some greater reason.
I
It's
could
the vibe that I'm getting.
I could also see like Vegapunk thinks like he needs to kill people in order for safety to happen. Like he got so mad.
Evil
with, like,
genius,
yeah,
like I'm
kinda-
smarter than you.
I'm smarter
like,
than it. I know it
one
sucks.
killing one to save 1,000.
But he
is-
still understands Kuma's thing, so he helps him out. So he does have like in his mind what he's doing is necessary for the world. Like I
can
think
see that.
Vegapunk would be kind of. But there's just so many things you see with like Caesar the Clown.
Well, it's also interesting that we know he used to work with
Germa
Germa.
66,
He used
yeah.
to work with Caesar Clown. These are
Well-
not good guys.
Well, no, I mean
these are not good
That's
guys.
a good point. But he got so strong, the world government shut him down. That's the most interesting thing. But he also stopped doing artificial tests on the smiles. So he's very.
I mean, I could also see him like being straight up like a slave to the world government, like
little
being a
bit too.
prisoner.
Yeah, same thing. So he's like doing these off keys with like Kuma and things in order to like set him up. So yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting things.
A lot of interesting things. So now, saying all that, after all that is said,
Yeah.
we know that Green Bull is, has a sword chilling up there. He's.
Does he? Do we see him with the sword?
Does he see it? We kind
I
of.
don't think
not
so.
really,
I
but you
don't
see like
think
a
so.
wooden thing next to him.
I'm loving how you're really starting to get behind this Green Bull is Denjiro thing.
Oh, well, hear me out. So we know he's like whatever. He's very Wanoian in his personality in a way.
Doesn't like to eat.
Doesn't like to eat.
What we see from samurai, even from Odin in this chapter, hunger does not bother him. He sees the samurai Wano. We first meet Moma. He says the same exact thing. The other thing we know about these guys is they're massive perverts. Kinemon, Momo, Odin stole a bunch of girls, the whole shebang. Only thing that Denjiro would make him eat is from a lady feeding him. There's just...
Okay, so hear me out now. This is gonna be big, so you gotta pay attention.
I'm listening.
Odin, are you looking up the Goemon thing? We didn't talk about Gomon. We could
Who?
maybe talk about that. But Odin,
Yeah.
he is a pervert.
Yeah.
Odin can not eat.
Do you think he's Green Bull?
What are the chances? What are the chances that Green Bull could be Odin?
I mean, I think Denjiro makes a lot more sense.
Because it makes sense for Odin to be around Admiral level strength.
He's above Admiral level strength.
It makes sense for him to be around Admiral level strength
He's
also.
Above Admiral level.
It makes sense either way. He could be
He
third
was-
commander level and it would make sense.
No.
Yes, it would.
Dude, you literally see fucking him saying he's talking down to Kaido right now.
A weaker Kaido. A Kaido 20 years in the
Well,
past.
I think Kaido's Admiral right now.
Well, why? We don't know what Kaido's strength level is. We just know that he's gotten a lot stronger because Sengoku told us. So what are the chances?
Slim.
But his smile in the silhouette, when they show him, looks a lot like another silhouetted smile.
This one, it looks a lot like Denjiro, bro.
No, not you're almost there. Right there.
It's the same smile for everything.
I don't know. The silhouetted smile of Green Bull looks a lot like the silhouetted
His
smile
hair
of,
would get burned
Odin.
off. Dude, there's no way.
His hair would get burned out. Odin's not paying attention to things like that.
He should be. He should be.
It was also 3 years he got sent.
First of all, so you want him to be alive?
I don't want him to be alive, but I'm just saying there is a possibility.
Thank you for the food.
There is a possibility. Oh man, I feel like I was gonna say something else.
Yeah, and you said something stupid, so your mind went blank.
No, the Green Bull Odin thing was always the end game that I was getting to with that conversation.
Ridiculous.
But I was gonna say something I don't remember. Odin. Oh, Goemon. So there's this legend. I guess you don't know this. There's this legend, old Japanese folklore. It's really interesting. You should Wikipedia right now so we can give the overview. But it's called Goemon. This
I
guy.
can spell that shit? You kidding me?
This guy called Goemon.
Is this who you think fucking King is?
No, but I could talk about that also.
That one's stupid.
And it's this guy in. What are you doing?
I'm pouring myself a drink.
Okay. Well, maybe we should just end the stream.
Well, you're talking. You talk. It's fine. I'm only pouring myself a little drink.
So it's this guy named Ishikawa Goemon, and it's the legend that Odin, this boiling pot Odin story, was based after.
Oh, really? That's cool.
So it's basically he's like a Japanese outlaw hero. He stole gold and valuables from the royal family at the time and gave it to the poor. Sound familiar? And then
What's your name, boy?
he was boiled alive in public after a failed assassination attempt on the ruler of the Sengoku period warlord of Japan.
Sounds like him.
Sengoku period warlord of Japan. And his son was also sentenced to death with him. And so in the boiling pot, in the legend, he holds his son over his head as he's boiling to his death.
Okay.
And so that's what they say Odin is based off of. He kind of looks like him, actually. a little bit.
It looks just like him. Yeah.
And his whole thing was that he lived to that's the picture. Like, look, that's literally it.
That's sick.
So it's like, look him up. I mean, it seems like that's what he's based after. He was a guy who went against the corruptness of the warlord of the time. He gave from the rich, and he took from the rich and gave to the poor. And so it's kind of like that's like what people are saying. Like his tale is based off of.
Yeah.
The Japanese folklore.
Definitely on par. So how does that end? Is he dead?
Yeah, he died. That's how it ends.
Yeah. So
He died.
Odin's dead.
Maybe. And Momonosuke is Uranus.
That's
Gotta be. I don't know. That was something we talked about in the group chat.
We did talk about that. We did.
Would
make sense.
Would make sense. I mean, talk to Zunisha. If every one of the ancient weapons are someone that could talk to a group of.
Yeah, so the thing is, Poseidon's the sea lands, and then he's like the king's like the Zunisha.
And he's like a dragon, which is he can talk. I mean,
relax.
What? Momo is a dragon.
Yeah, he is, but you're talking about like figuratively a dragon. He can't talk with other animals now.
Well, he can talk with like some ancient beast. He can talk with Janisha.
Yeah, but
it's like the Sea
but
Kings are like ancient
he
beasts.
ate a fruit to become a dragon. He wasn't always a dragon.
I know, but I think it's supposed to be like symbolic.
That's what I'm
of,
saying.
like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Be careful with that. Like
okay.
I know where you're going with your dragon theories. You love dragons, and you think one was all.
Well,
about
I think dragons play a huge role in the series.
I think they
Read
play,
it if
I
you
think-
haven't
I think
read Monsters the One Shot.
I think dragons play a big part in Japanese culture, and that's why they're
Yeah.
so prevalent.
Well,
throughout
that too.
One Piece.
That also. Yeah, definitely. So that's the end of the group chat segment. How'd we do? It was a disaster, I know, but it's fine.
Those were only
got
topics. I
there.
thought you were going to other topics.
Well, a lot of them we talked about throughout the chapter. Because
okay.
we had a bunch, but a lot of them were just my notes, and a lot of them were like, because week to week we mostly talk about the chapter, and we let those conversations astride to other
Yeah.
things sometimes, but it's really just
Most of the time they go astray. Yeah.
yeah. So we tried out that segment, group chat segment. We'll see how it goes. If you have any opinions, like, comment, subscribe, and next week we'll do top 5 flashbacks or.
Yeah, we'll go into flashback. We would have been good if we did it this week. I didn't even think about the symbolism. I didn't think it was gonna end. But yeah, we'll get into the flashback. I think we gotta do at least 10. There's gotta be more.
Top
than
10. Okay, we'll do top 10 flashbacks. And, maybe we'll bring the group chat segment back, or maybe we'll replace it with the top 10.
Yeah, we'll figure things out.
Let us know if you have any opinions.
Please.
All right.
All right, cool.
Subscribe.
Born to boil.